Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Heyo!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. It is Hump Day. That means Tyvis is in the
Tyvis
building.
is crazy today.
Whoa.
Tyvis is just crazy. Saying Mike Williams better than T. Higgins. I mean, I don't know.
Listen,
You're out of your mind.
Mike Williams is when healthy is much more productive.
If you have
than
to
T.
asterisk or caveat, it doesn't count.
That's fine.
That's right.
When
Because
healthy,
if
when
your
healthy,
aunt-
with healthy.
What?
I didn't say if. I said when healthy.
Plus,
like-
T. Higgins is younger.
He's much more productive.
If
He's
healthy,
not.
when healthy.
He's only had 2,000-yard seasons in 6 years.
It's
know.
like saying you would take Batman
what did
over
T.
anybody
Higgins?
else in the Justice League.
Right here it is.
Well, there you go. I would take that.
Oh, you know what I wanted to... I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. I think that we obviously don't spend any time talking about our second-tier teams, and I hate that because they're very entertaining. The Charge, which is the old D-League version.
I went to a game last week.
They're fun, aren't they?
That was the best $4 ticket I
I
ever
went
had in my
last
entire
year.
life.
Affordable and a good time.
Is Taco Fall still on the team?
No, I don't think so.
No, he's not.
That was
no.
so much fun watching him last year. And the Monsters, of course.
Well, and that's why I bring this up. So
Yeah.
there's dual promotions that I want to just give a quick shout out. Batman Night specialty jersey. The Monsters are going to wear Batman jerseys.
That's crazy.
That's actually
That is fun.
cool.
And after the game, these jerseys are going to be auctioned off with the proceeds going to help the benefits, the Monsters Community Foundation. I want one of
I
those
need
Batman
one of those.
jerseys.
I
I
need one.
want
so
that
you
jersey.
going.
What's that?
You going.
I'm going.
I just-
Absolutely.
I want to.
I've been to Monsters games. I'm not much of a hockey guy.
Oh, really?
But I've been to games and they put on a great show.
It is.
It's a
I've
great
never-
product.
I've never
Hockey
been to
in
a-
person is so much better than on
beats
TV.
every
That's
other
what
sport
everybody
person
says.
by a
Yes.
mile.
That's
by
what
a mile.
every-
Unless
I've
you're
never-
sitting on the court for the NBA.
Tyvis, you've never been to a Blue Jackets game.
I've never been to a hockey game in my
Tyvis,
life.
just go and report
It's
back.
fun.
You know
in
what's
person.
sad? I work for 97.1 and they be like, "Oh, hey, we got the suite. Just let us know whenever you want
Yeah.
to."
Tyvis, go.
I have kids.
You'll
Have
be
you
a
been?
fan. You'll become a fan, I
You gone to
promise.
hockey?
Yeah.
It's fun in person.
It's a
I don't like hockey
fast-paced
at all, but
sport.
in
It's
person,
action.
It's fun.
I played it until 7 knee
Yeah.
surgeries, and I loved it. It was
But the-
more fun than playing baseball, and you guys know how much I love playing
Yes.
baseball. It's
But-
it's a blast.
but I
I just
still
would be an
think
enforcer. I just slam
best-
people up and get in fights.
you could probably be a first-round draft pick.
The best ever, though, is I did once. I didn't pay for these tickets.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have this kind of cash. I was invited to sit first row for a Cavs game once.
Oh,
That-
yeah, that's nice.
That was an amazing
Must be
experience.
That
nice.
is really an experience because
Oh,
you're
my
like stuck here on the bench for crying out loud.
Yeah. I sat front row for the Big East tournament once, too, which was pretty cool.
At Madison
Kimber
Square,
still
which is.
there?
I don't even remember. It's
Okay, so
no, I don't
that's,
think so.
I want to give the details.
Yeah.
Thursday night, the 29th. So everybody's looking for fun things to do that week between Christmas and Thanksgiving. Or
New
Christmas
Year's.
and New Year's. That's a month. It's Thursday night, the 29th, 7 p.m. is the start. They're going to wear these Fire Batman jerseys. They're going to be auctioned off after the game. I imagine you could get one for a pretty good price if you're interested in that kind of thing. Also, the Batman shirt that I'm wearing, so this is an upcoming promotion for the Charge. They're giving away Batman posters for the first 2,500 kids that are in attendance that night as well. And then the Charge are also doing something. I don't have that sheet of paper, but these are the upcoming promotions for the Monsters. Check it out. It's a great
Charge
time.
play at Cleveland State's arena.
the
They do.
Wolfstein Center.
They do.
Wolfstein
Yeah.
Center,
But
right.
it's an intimate setting, and the basketball's fun,
Yeah.
and it's a good night. All right, busy show. Tyvis is here, true or false. Who's the defending champ? I am. That's who.
That you can tell when somebody ain't
Wow.
used to winning right there.
Yeah, you're right.
that's
I got to act
sad.
like I've done this before.
That was not a Barry Sanders move right there.
No, it was not. That was awful. That was Chad Ochocinco.
That was, yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I just couldn't resist. I love poking the bear
the
every
man?
chance I get, and Tyvis is
You know
the bear.
what? Today you coming in last.
All right, let's
Book
see.
it.
We're going to talk Brown Saints. At noon, my good friend and co-host on Channel 3, Betsy Kling, is going to join us to tell us just how bad the weather's going to be. If you're going to the game, you're going to want to pay attention. Also, if you're a fan of the game, you're going to want to pay attention because I'm 95% certain, and I'm not a meteorologist, but I do work with one. I'm 95% certain that weather is going to have a massive impact
wind.
on this game. The
Right.
wind could be gusting in the 50 to 60
that's
mile an hour
insane.
range. You're not throwing the ball in that. You just can't.
Especially Dalton. He doesn't have a strong arm at all.
And it's a little interesting for the
It scares me for the Browns.
because Chubb didn't practice yesterday.
No.
He's got the foot.
Because against the Baltimore Ravens, our run defense was horrendous.
Well, against
It
everybody
was.
pretty
And the
much.
Ravens.
You got a point there.
But Greg Roman couldn't figure that out.
He
Kept throwing the
yeah,
ball and
yeah.
throwing the ball. I thought Joe Woods was calling the offensive plays for the Ravens.
Wow.
All right, and we're going to preview, and this is great because Tyvis thinks he's the greatest player in any sport ever to live. But Milwaukee, the Bucks are in. That means Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse tonight.
Man, I need a ticket. If somebody got an extra ticket.
Yeah, I know. This is a hot ticket.
I think you should want to see the greatest player of all time play. Like that's something that it should be on your bucket list.
Ever.
See Giannis
Speaking
play.
of buckets,
Yeah, we're going to have the Buckets game.
Yeah.
We're going to do that with the Cavs today.
Yep.
Cavs edition.
So this is a big game for the Cavs because at some point to get to where you want to go, you're going to have to beat the Bostons. You're going to have to beat the Milwaukees. They've beaten the Celtics 2 times in 2 games. They have not played well against the Bucks in 2
Lost
losses.
by 15 both games.
Both
but
games
both
home
on the road.
and away. Oh,
No,
I
they're
thought
both on the
they were
road.
home. So this
No.
is the first
No,
home game.
yeah,
Okay,
first
good.
home game.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see how this team, which is 15-2 and the best home record, can play against a Milwaukee team tonight. We're going to get to the Browns and the Saints in just a second, but I do think that we have to spend just a second to talk about the late now great Franco Harris. There's so much irony in this, I can't even believe it, but his family now has confirmed that the great Hall of Fame running back for the Steelers has died at 72. It's so sad because Saturday was the Steelers and Raiders are celebrating the 50th anniversary of one of the most unlikely plays, even though I still think it was a bad call, and replay may have overturned it, but the Immaculate Reception 50 years ago Saturday, and they're going to retire his number.
I don't think the Raiders are celebrating it. I think
No,
it's
they're
the
not. But
Steelers.
for their
Yeah.
part in that game,
Yeah, sure.
they're part of that history.
By the
and
way,
those
in
teams
those
are playing
days,
again.
In reading about the Immaculate Reception today, I was reading an article about it, and I didn't realize that in those days, first of all, did the ball hit the ground before he caught
That
it?
was the big question.
But there's another thing that could have made that play illegal too. When it goes off, who did it go off from the Raiders? I can't remember. It bounces off his helmet.
I'm not sure.
Whoever it was. But the wide receiver for the Steelers, who was the intended target on that play, if it hits him first,
It's incomplete.
it's a dead ball.
Yes, it is.
That's obviously not
You
the
can't
rule
go
now.
offense to offense.
Yes.
You couldn't back then.
Now you can. So
Right.
you couldn't even tell for sure who it hit because in those days they didn't have a ton of cameras. and
Right.
It wasn't the same.
We did a
but-
piece on it a number of years ago. It may have been for the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
Where replay officials today looked at the play.
Right.
And there was a little bit of the ultimate judgment was they would not have overturned it because there
Right.
wasn't enough evidence.
Right. Right.
But, even Franco Harris, when asked about this play in the many, many years and the many times he'd been asked about it afterwards, never really gives the definitive it was clean. So you just don't know. He's probably the one that knows more than anybody.
Good marketing.
And he takes it to the grave with him. So the late, great Franco Harris, and I know he's our biggest he was one of the best players on our biggest rivalry, but just in the interest of good sportsmanship, I'd met him a number of times. He was an absolute 100% complete great guy and gentleman. So we pay our respect and our homage to the late, great Franco Harris, and it'll put a different spin on this Saturday's game between the Raiders and the Steelers.
I will say anybody that, I think football is a fraternity. I never played at the highest level, but, I respect anybody that played the game. Like, especially if you're great, you can't not help but to respect the dudes that got gold jackets. That's the highest level it comes with, you know what I'm saying? So, and I always say this, you just a guest. A lot of people is just a guest in this pantheon in order to make a living. Like, I get to talk about these dudes and talk about sports and make an earning and make a good living doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? I always say that, we are guests. And so, you have no choice but to pay respect to the people that did it at the highest level. Salute. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
he's half the reason that a lot of us play football. A lot of us is doing this job, and so you got to salute and respect him, even though he on the opposite side of the enemy line, so to speak.
In his era, it was not the quarterback that drove the buzz. It was the running back.
Well, even Bradshaw admitted that. I mean, he said,
Bradshaw was not a
and
great.
they
If
had-
you look at Bradshaw's numbers,
Yeah.
you would laugh.
Well, now, in fairness to Bradshaw, a lot of the great quarterbacks of that era had
what I'm
bad
saying.
numbers.
And that's what I'm pointing out.
I think he had more picks than touchdowns, maybe. in
or
his
right
career.
around that number.
Yeah.
He had all-time great Hall of Fame caliber receivers, but back then, and this was really an extension from Jim Brown and his dominance in the 60s, but into the 70s, this wasn't a quarterback league at all. It was a running back league. It was O.J. Simpson. It was Franco Harris. Before them, it was Jim Brown. Today, we tend to marginalize that position because it's a passing league. But Franco Harris, if you're looking for the straw that stirred that drink, in my view anyhow, because of the way the game was played that time, it was him. They were all about running the ball and defense.
He was a fullback technically.
He was.
Jim Brown, Larry Zonka,
That
Franco
goes to show you
Harris.
how much the game has changed.
Fullback.
He had
Fullbacks are still used. Kyle Juszczyk is the guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Juice.
And by the way, that
Ohio guy.
that offense and that system right now, even though there's not a lot of teams running it,
It is looking really good.
Well, now,
without
those-
a great quarterback,
Those 70 teams for the Steelers obviously had Hall of Famers all over the place.
receivers and the
Receivers,
defense. It was all about
offensive
defense for
line,
them.
defense. They were just loaded.
They were.
with talent, but he was the best player on that offense.
I feel he was.
He had 8,000-yard seasons. He had 5 double-digit touchdown seasons. You
And
know,
if I'm not mistaken, some of his career was 14 games. In fact, maybe
Yeah.
the majority of his career.
Yes.
There were 14-game seasons. So it really puts into perspective. Like when Jim Brown was rushing for 1,000 yards, that used to be the number. And now when we say 1,000 yards, we're
Now I
like,
feel
hey,
like-
1,000 yards. 1,000 yards today means
like
you're
80.
averaging about 65 yards a game.
to me, the number now is 1,200.
Yeah, I think
That's
so, too.
that's the old 1,000.
Yeah,
to me,
but you still
1,200.
hear the number 1,000-yard
Yeah,
seasons thrown around
right.
like that's the new benchmark, and it's
No.
really not. It
By the
really
way,
isn't.
I didn't know this. Franco Harris played for another team in the final year of his career.
Was it Sam? No. A lot of guys
Anybody
finished
know?
at San Francisco.
You're not far off geographically.
Is it Oakland?
McNuggets.
Nope.
We got to get to the
Seattle.
Seattle.
He
yes,
just
I
spawned-
remember seeing him in a Seattle Seahawks
He
uniform.
just spawned
that'd be weird.
a new game.
Shoot.
Legends that played on other teams.
Joe Montana, the
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Or like
I knew
Brett
that.
Favre, Jets and Vikings.
basketball.
Joe Namath.
Now
Basketball's
basketball is
even
the
better than
best.
football.
Yeah,
Basketball's better than
basketball is
football at this
because
one.
I don't think it was as well documented like in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
You want to play one right now? Patrick
Sure.
Ewing.
The Magic.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I think Olajuwon paid for the Raptors.
He did.
Wow,
Yeah, that's right.
Now that is bizarre.
Ellen?
Shaq.
No idea.
Well, Shaq.
oh,
there's-
Shaq was like
What he
like
finished with the Celtics?
he played everywhere. He
Shaq
played here.
Cavs,
No, I
the
know, but I'm
Suns,
saying,
the
who did he
Heat, the
finish with?
Celtics.
Well, but of course, Jordan is the biggest one.
Yeah, the Wizards. All right, let's dive in. And
G-Bush, I'm on it. Don't worry. We'll
do you
that
want to
some
do the
point.
Tri-C read before we go
We do
into
have to
our
do the
Browns?
Tri-C read. We do
Okay.
have to do the Tri-C read because it's time for Browns Talk, sponsored by Cuyahoga Community College. Tri-C supports their students financially, professionally, and personally, and opens up the door for endless possibilities. Tri-C is where the future starts, and it starts right now. Classes begin January 17th, 2023.
And in case you're not sure how that's pronounced, it's Cuyahoga Community College.
Cuyahoga.
He
I'm
just
going to set a
blasted
record for
through
the
it.
fastest
Cuyahoga
saying of that. By the
Community
end of
College.
this sponsorship reads, that'll be the fastest I've done.
Tri-C.
I promise.
Tri-C.
That's it.
Okay.
Hello, Frosted Flakes.
All right, so Cuyahoga Community College, we thank you for sponsoring our Browns Talk through the rest of the year. This is interesting because the Saints, this is like a playoff game for the Saints.
Yeah.
They have to win the division or they're going nowhere.
Correct.
The Browns aren't going nowhere, and they know that.
That's not.
It's come
It's
on.
0.7% chance.
As I said, we went through the scenarios yesterday on our 4 o'clock show of what has to happen. You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning.
That's fine.
Okay.
Do you
But
really?
you're telling me
It's so
there's
bizarre.
You're
Bull.
saying
What
that
has to
there's a
happen?
chance, though.
There is, mathematically, there is a chance. Realistically, and for those people who live in reality, there is not a chance. All of that being said, the Saints have their destiny in their own hand, if I'm not mistaken. don't they,
That
Mike?
whole
I think all of them
that,
do.
that division is pathetic.
But if they
man.
win, so this is like the playoffs start for the Saints. It's going to be awful weather. Does that scare you at all that the Saints are playing for way more on Saturday than the Browns are?
Yes.
It does?
Yes.
Why?
Because
Saints suck.
Because that's the thing. Yeah,
They're just a game below
the Browns are
the
that
Browns.
good.
I understand that, but that still makes teams because that means you calling all stops because it's a must-win game for them. Like they'll be playing desperately. So,
but the Browns have the luxury. If Chubb's foot isn't well, the Browns have the luxury of saying you're not getting near the field.
But wait a second. The Browns, I know it's remote, but until you're eliminated, you got to still play to win.
Clear, yeah.
The Browns are not, they're not going into this saying we got no chance to make the playoffs.
Who does it matter more to?
Yes, let's frame it in its proper context. Does winning this game mean more to the Browns or the Saints? And that one is easy.
The Saints.
It's just easy. Now, I'm not. Again, is it meaningless for the Browns? No. It's a home game. You always want to put on a good show in front of the fans. But I'm wondering at what point this organization, which leans on probability and outcome very heavily, as all of the teams do, but I'm wondering at what point this organization starts asking this question. Is the risk of playing Nick Chubb with a banged-up foot worth the reward? Because the reward is minuscule. The risk is very high.
By the way, before we answer that, according to 538, the Browns have a 1% chance, okay?
Again,
you know
I'm living in reality.
You know what they have as the Saints' chance?
4.
3%.
That was close.
There's a clearer path for the Saints.
I don't know that.
Now,
win the
let me see
division.
if they control their own
I
destiny.
believe everybody in the South controls their own destiny. Atlanta may not now. But going into last week, I know all the teams controlled their own destiny, which
They
is bizarre.
can't, though, because they don't play the Bucks, so they can't
What's
control
their record?
destiny. They're a game behind the Bucks.
Right, and there's how many games left?
3.
So if they win out,
They're not in.
Yes, they are.
No, because they're not playing the Bucks.
it doesn't matter.
If both
the Bucks
both
lose
teams
out,
win
and the
out,
Saints win
yes.
out, the Saints
But
go.
that's not controlling your destiny. Controlling your destiny means you're in the playoffs and you win 3 in a row.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
when you look at this,
Yeah,
they have
you're
to
right.
finish. They have to finish a game ahead of Tampa Bay.
Yes.
They have to.
Yes.
Tampa's not
So
losing this
Tampa
week.
could lose twice, and the Saints could win out, and the Bucks still go.
Right, but that's not
The
controlling
Bucks
your own destiny.
have to lose all 3 games for the Saints to go. But when I tell you the number of things that have to happen for the Browns, it's, I think, 11 or 17. There's one scenario where it's 17. There's another where it's 11, and I don't quite understand why there would be a difference.
I'll
There
throw it
is
up
a
in one
path.
sec.
Yeah.
You'll see. Hold
so
on.
it's a long shot, but if you're the Saints, you have a clearer path to the playoffs.
It's
what?
clearer, but they don't
The
control
Browns
their
can win
destiny.
out,
Yeah.
and there's 11 other things that have to
That's
happen.
true.
I'm having a hard time getting up for this game. I'm having
It's not an exciting game.
I know. I think we all are.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, well, like if you're a fan and you want to go into this game, you got the hierarchy. Okay, get to the playoffs. Well, that's a 1% chance. Okay. All right. Well, Deshaun Watson is playing, man. Maybe we can throw
40-mile-hour winds.
It's a winter storm and Jack Frost and it's Hurricane Katrina in the winter and we ain't getting no money off. Then it's like, okay, well let's get Nick Chubb the rushing title. Oh, I forgot we didn't give him the ball half the season. So
And he might not
nowhere
play.
close, and he might not play. So now, what am I looking forward to? Like, hey, Jerome Ford is going to play?
You're looking forward to the atmosphere. Being in the cold weather, snow atmosphere, watching people throwing snowballs. You could be like
fun,
the
although
Bills
it's
throwing
miserable.
snowballs at referees.
Yeah.
Like if the dog pound is the dog pound, they throw snowballs at refs.
What
They
about
score,
the
you come
risk
jump in the
reward
thing.
on the injury front? Am I the only one that's thinking that at some point, I'm not going to be surprised if at some point the Browns just tap out on.
If they lose one more, I think they tapping out on a lot of players.
What about Chubb particularly this week? Didn't practice yesterday.
We don't know
if
how
he's gonna-
serious it is. It might just be a minor thing.
It could be, but I mean, he's listed on the report with a foot,
Right.
didn't practice. Like, I'm just wondering if that's a precursor, if they're setting us up for come Saturday morning saying he's a scratch, and then they will be eliminated going into the last 2 games, and it's much easier to shelve him with no chance.
No,
of
let
the
me ask
playoffs.
you this. Would you be upset if Nick Chubb decided not to play after they got eliminated officially?
No.
Would you be upset?
No,
but,
not
but
at
you
all.
were
He would
upset
never
at
do that.
Was you upset at Baker for doing it?
No, I was not. Bull was. I wasn't. I thought
His
Baker not
teammates
play-
were.
I thought Baker not playing the last game was the smart play.
Gee, were his teammates not pissed that he didn't
His
play?
teammates were pissed off.
Now, here's the
I
thing.
would be too.
But here's the thing that always that shocks me with that. He played knowing he needed surgery for 14 games. Now there's no chance of making the playoffs, and he says, I'm out, and they're pissed?
Well, they was mad.
That's a joke to me.
because you should have went and did it.
No. They
should have been did it.
They was mad
But
because
you can't be mad because he didn't play.
They was mad because
He would have had more money. He would have.
Because it was all
he
it
messed
was all
his
about him
money
and not
up.
about the team.
He did not give them the best chance to win. That's what they thought. And they was like, well, listen, so you going to come back and play terrible, and it's all about you just trying to be great for just win one for the Gipper, and then we eliminated you. Like, all right, I'm out, dog.
I got to tell you, I have no problem. If Nick Chubb were to come forward and say, I've got an injury on my foot.
Is that my water?
Whatever's going
that's
on,
mine.
I'm not going to play. Guys, I think that's using the right
I don't
muscle.
have a problem with it either. I just don't think Nick Chubb would do that.
I think that's the smart play, and I'm not convinced here that
I don't know.
we're going to see him again.
I need to
I'm
know
not.
what the injury is. I mean, because to be honest with you, if Nick Chubb was to say, you know what, my foot is messed up and I need some time to rest, it actually would do Kareem Hunt some favors. It would do Jerome some favors, and it would do Jerome. It would do all three running backs favors because now Kareem could get some tape. Dearness could get some tape, and Jerome Ford to get reps, and we'll see what we got.
No, Dearness Johnson going to get some punt return. Dearness Johnson going to get some.
By the way,
DPJ
Kareem,
got that. No, blocking.
You think Kareem Hunt, I'll use your expression because, is Kareem Hunt getting the bag this offseason? Because I don't think he is.
Don't make me cuss.
I don't think he is.
They don't value running backs like that. Why would he get the bag?
No disrespect.
I mean, Saquon Barkley's going to get a lot of money.
Well, they're in a different class.
No disrespect.
What's wrong with him?
I think Nick Chubb then lost a little burst.
Nick Chubb?
Not Chubb, but Kareem Hunt. He lost a little burst.
Well, that's not fair because right now that offensive line is a little.
All season he has.
Because Nick Chubb ain't really getting off like that either.
It wouldn't surprise you if he went to an offense that was creative and that catered to his skill set, though.
Yeah.
If he got back to
I like to see him in
not
Philly.
the Kansas City Kareem,
like
but if he was a lot better than what we were ever seeing
He
of
should
him
go to
here.
Philly.
Jerome Ford
He wasn't the featured back here.
Jerome Ford is the guy we should want to see.
Yeah.
So are they asking that question then?
Who?
Are the Browns inside the building at Berea asking this question? Benefits and risks. If you're making a benefits column for Nick Chubb playing the rest of the year, what are they? Okay? Now let me ask you this. If you're making a benefits column for resting Nick Chubb the rest of the year, let's name the benefits. We get to see the other running backs.
Well, you rested him all season.
We get to rest him because his body has been
You
through
done rested
another
Nick
grueling
Chubb all
season.
year.
Oh, come on.
No. but also, you eliminate the risk because, God forbid, I don't even like these words coming out of my mouth, but let's face it, on a slippery track, and I'm told one of the real concerns about the weather is going to be this. It's going to rain, and then it's going to go, the temperature is going to go from 40 to single digits in 2 hours. And here's what happens when that happens. So much of the dirt freezes, and it's never going to be above 32 before they play the game.
Right.
That they will literally be playing on a frozen tundra.
Right.
It will be a frozen
Yeah, it's going to
field.
rain tomorrow during the day, then tomorrow night's going to get
It's going to flash freeze. It's going to flash freezing.
But why don't they got the tarp? They can't put a tarp on it for the until the
I don't know that they tarp. I don't know that they tarp for that. I don't know. Maybe they will.
Yeah, they will.
I don't know.
They will.
I don't know.
With the snow coming behind it, you would think they would. But
One way or another, to me, my nightmare for these last 3 games in a season filled with nightmares between injuries and the Deshaun Watson and the Jets and all these other things, the cherry on the top of that nightmare season would be a catastrophic injury to one of your stars.
Well, let me ask you this. What if Nick Chubb say, I'm playing?
Yeah.
Then you play him.
Okay.
Right.
Then
Yeah, then you
that,
play him.
and to me, that seems like the type of person
Nick
he
Chubb
is.
wants to play.
Because it's Nick Chubb's future and it's his money.
But as a coach, you're supposed to protect players from themselves.
They didn't do that last year.
Exactly. So you
why
need
can
to,
they
you
do
need,
it this year?
Because you learn from your mistakes.
So possibly
Tyvis.
the Browns could step in and say,
But wait a second.
we're not going to
It's
lose
possible.
our franchise offensive player.
You played in the NFL. You know how many guys play when they probably shouldn't. That's part of being an NFL player.
Let me ask you this, Ty.
This idea,
Ty, let me ask you
this
this.
idea that Baker was unique
Wait a minute,
in the
wait a
NFL
minute.
is the most laughable thing I've ever heard in my life.
But it is times that I've seen players where they say you're not healthy enough to play, you're not playing, and they can't play. When I was in Denver, Von Miller had an injury to his leg. He went out there, he did the workout, he looked okay, but they said you're not playing.
Well, they did that with Mike White and the Jets.
It is what it is.
Tyvis, because there are multiple layers to this decision making. The player is obviously involved in the process. The team is involved in the process. I've talked to players who have told me stories after the fact, not before, that they were late in the season of a contract year.
Oh, if it's a contract year.
And there were no possibilities for the team to make the playoffs.
Oh, if it's a contract
How
year.
easy it is in that decision for the player to say, oh, no, I'm done.
Well, Nick
it's
Chubb ain't in
akin
the
to what the
contract.
college players are doing, opting out of the bowl game.
Yeah.
The bag is right there.
Yeah. That's because it's business at the end of the day.
It is a business decision.
You're not about to, I'm going to go out there and
So are the Browns
jeopardize
doing
my
the mental
injury?
gymnastics on that
But
as to whether or not they play Chubb?
For all we know, this could be just a bruised foot.
That's what
it
I'm
might be
saying.
nothing with
That's
nothing.
why I said we don't know
I'm
the
with you.
severe.
This is nonsense.
He hasn't missed practice all year. He hasn't been on the
Right, but
injury
it's
report
late
all
in the
year.
season. Like it could be a
vet
minor
day.
thing.
By the way,
Bet day.
Deshaun Watson is the new coach, if y'all haven't noticed. When you get a franchise quarterback, they control who practices, bro. Like that whole
You think already, though? He hasn't done anything here. He hasn't earned that.
Oh, no. Because here's the thing. When they look and he get in the huddle, he looking around like, who with me? Who in this thing? This is a whole new season. We all agreed that the Jacoby Brissett season was whatever.
It was whatever.
But now these games right here, Myles Garrett don't look like he coming out. Amari Cooper not coming out. And if they ain't coming out, heck, Ethan Pochich, he was on IR. He could have been chalked that up.
He coming back.
He coming back. You know why? Because they trying to get it together. They'll do this thing where NFL films will do 2023. It all started in 2022. In the last 6 games where the momentum and the synergy was
That's
built.
exactly what they're going to say.
And then they'll ride in the offseason, they'll do some stuff, and they'll say, last year, it was crazy,
Right.
it was adversity. But Nick Chubb would play if it was just us.
So they're not shutting anybody down the rest of the way. They're all going to play.
All of them.
Wow. I'm going to be shocked if they do.
Every last single one of them.
I'm gonna be
If it's
shocked
an
if that's the
injury
case.
that could get significantly worse by playing, then maybe you shut a guy down.
Yeah.
But at this point, we have no idea what it is with Nick Chubb.
Well, we just know it's a foot. That's it.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
If he
to
don't
say.
practice today, we'll know.
Well, if he doesn't practice today, I would say that's more of an indication
That's
that he's
it, right?
not
2
going
back-to-back
to play.
games.
Tyvis, have you ever had, and I'll ask you this, because this happened to me. There was times when I was like an underclassman, right? And I was better when I was underclassman because I wasn't even injured, right? But as an underclassman, like, you always got this mentality, like, guess what? I'm going to play regardless.
Yes.
But then sometimes...
I was like that my entire career.
But as you get older, you can get beat up a little bit. You might, man, I don't want to practice. I don't want to do that. And then you look back at it, and coach told me, you don't never know when it's your last play, dog.
Yes.
And there's times, and this may seem ironic, there are times where I only dream about a couple things, and that's playing. Like, I know you done had the dreams. Like, you wake up and be like,
I just had one the other night.
Taping up.
and it ain't nothing like the atmosphere. It ain't nothing like that adrenaline when you out there with the specialists getting ready and the crowd half there, the lights is on. They playing Phil Collins in the air tonight. You out here getting ready to go. Guess what? You never get that feeling back again. They don't know how many more games Nick Chubb got. I know for a fact if this dude is squatting maxing at somebody's high school in the summer, he ain't missing no games at all. They had to tape his legs
Clip
down.
that.
Boy,
Because I'm going to be stunned if he plays through the season. I will be.
I think he'll play, but his reps will become very limited.
Well, I would think that that's a no-brainer. Because
You got to know what you got.
What's
behind.
Ford?
What's Ernest? What's
Well,
Dearness?
we know a little bit of what Dearness is.
No, not behind this
but
offensive
I want
line.
to see. I
Not
want to
with
see
Deshaun
Jerome
at
Ford
quarterback.
get 20 carries in a game.
I do too.
I do
want
too,
to see
actually.
25.
I do.
30. If you see if he can do
I
it.
don't want to see any of this nonsense until the Browns are officially eliminated.
I agree.
And until that happens,
I agree
I'll
with
play
that.
the freaking win.
I'll play your silly game.
Don't tell
Okay.
me the Saints have some great chance.
No.
When they have 3% and the Browns have 1.
I agree with Bull.
It's triple the chances of the Browns.
It's still very unlikely.
Are the
There's a
Saints'
chance.
chances of making the playoffs
There's a
triple
chance.
what the Browns are?
Yes.
Don't you exhaust
Are
your
the
options?
Saints' chances of making the playoffs very unlikely?
Wouldn't you rather say?
Very. So there you go.
But a lot better than the Browns.
Wouldn't you rather say? We did everything we could. We did everything we were supposed to do.
and
It's
so
just in
down
somebody
fight.
else's
I'm shocked
hands.
at
I
you.
guess.
I'm shocked. I'm not at Bull, but I'm shocked at you.
Is there?
Because you know, but
We did everything we
You
could.
always play to
They
win.
told us to go out and win all the games and let the chips fall where
Bull.
they may.
Yeah.
you know what? I wish there would have been that urgency in week 7.
Is there
I agree.
Is there merit in saying we was 9-8?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Nonsense.
We was over 500. Yes.
Oh, what do you get for that?
A winning record.
Oh, what do you get for that?
Oh, Mike
Let me
Tomlin's
tell you what you get for that.
Tomlin's the greatest coach because he's never had a losing record.
You know what you get for that? A worse draft pick.
No, you know what you get?
Well,
That's what
You know what you get?
That's what you get.
I'm going to tell you what you get.
Well,
you
not
get
too.
you get another year as a head
On a
coach.
quick,
Yeah.
Well,
on
he's
a-
getting that no matter what.
By the way, on a quick side note, before we go to Leroy, I got my son an Xbox for Hanukkah. He was lost his mind.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Okay.
he did.
And you've lost your son.
It's out.
So I downloaded Madden for him yesterday.
Oh, man.
And so he's been.
Had he ever played?
He had played at his friend's
Okay.
house. So he's playing Madden. By the way, Mike Tomlin on Madden looks like.
Mike Tomlin.
It looks exactly like Mike Tomlin.
the graphics
Some of the
on
guys
it are
look
unbelievable.
more than others, but Mike Tomlin looks exactly like
How
Mike
does
Tomlin.
your son know that? Why is he on the?
No,
on the
I
field?
said it. I was watching it.
Oh,
I was watching him play.
But why were the Steelers on the screen? Was he playing against the Steelers or was
He was playing. He did the Bengals against the Ravens, then the Bengals against the Browns, then the Bengals against the Steelers.
I had to make sure.
Then he replayed the Super Bowl, except Baker was playing for the Rams.
So the Bengals won a Super Bowl. Hey, let's bring in Leroy Horde. Leroy Horde, join this conversation about, the risk and reward.
Leroy,
Yeah, I know,
already
because
in his bag.
Leroy's from a time where, hey, I'm John Wayne, damn it. Get out my way.
Leroy, do you believe how soft Jay is? He wants to sit guys. What is going on here?
Hold
This
on.
is nonsense.
Hold on. Let him talk.
Here's the issue. And the two guys sitting to your right can tell you this unequivocally. Before you were an NFL player or a college player or whatever, you were a competitor.
Yeah.
That means that no matter what you did, you loved competing against other people and beating other people and having success against other people.
Right. And
And that never goes away. Your body goes away before that mentality goes away. Right? Like,
Absolutely.
I'm still beating the hell out of my son. Because I like to compete. And I ain't giving no L. I ain't giving an L to nobody. I ain't giving a win to nobody.
We ain't taking no shorts.
That's a fact.
That don't go away. So you telling me that a guy that fights, scratches, and claws for every inch on that football field for the past however many years is going to all of a sudden get up one day and say, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out.
No, I'm not, because the mentality of the Warrior is what you just said. However, we've got guys from Harvard. We've got guys from Yale. We've got guys from Princeton now making those decisions for the global trajectory of a franchise. And I think even you now at the stage that you're in would agree to this. And I mentioned it, risk reward, because essentially all of these teams now with using analytics to as a precursor to all their decisions, there's a risk reward and there's a risk column and there is a reward column. And whether or not I like it, which I don't, that's the reality now. And I think everybody here would agree with that's the way decisions are made now in the league. And if you take that masculinity out of that equation, and you got someone from Princeton, Harvard, or Yale now that's looking at spreadsheets, and they're looking at risks to playing Nick Chubb the rest of the season and rewards, what scares me is that risk column is going to be a lot longer than the reward column. And if they lean
what I
on
was-
that to make this decision, you could argue that would be the analytic or smart play in this case.
And I would say if there are people in that organization that are saying, sit Nick Chubb and save him for next year, get them the hell out of there. Simple as that.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
The one thing that I will say to you, that Stefanski, all these analytics people, the owner, the training staff, the one thing that they can't do, that Nick Chubb has to do, is go in that locker room and look those other men in the eye.
Exactly.
And say, oh, I'm bouncing around, but I'm not gonna play because they don't want to end. They don't want me. They want to save me for next year. You go say that to a room full of grown men making a living playing football. You go say that to them.
By the way, I don't think anybody in the front office is saying that to Nick Chubb. Two of the Browns beat reporters just texted me, and they said Nick Chubb's going to play.
There we go.
In their opinion, they don't know the 100% yet.
And to further your point, hey, first of all, the four of you are dummies.
We've known that forever.
Whoa.
Because
Wait a second.
I'm offended.
Wait a second,
I'm
Leroy.
offended.
Listen, so is Leroy. Take the win. So is Leroy.
Leroy.
You're the one who took 1,000 hits today.
Do you guys understand the way condensation works
Sure.
and how rain and ice work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can cover the field.
Yeah.
It's still going to freeze.
Exactly. And
So,
that's why.
but
that was
here's
my
the deal.
point, Leroy.
Here's the deal.
Like, there's moisture in the ground.
I played in Cleveland Municipal Stadium on that painted grass where it was so cold. It was so cold and frozen that I wore turf shoes on the grass.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is very
You don't
crazy.
understand
And guess
what
what?
he just said.
That's crazy.
The spike
guess
isn't going to
what?
do anything. A
And
plastic
guess
cleat
what?
isn't going to penetrate that.
And you ready for this? I was the only one out there who looked like it wasn't bothering them at all. Because I made that adjustment. Put that rubber on the bottom of my feet.
Nobody
That
else
rubber
did
had
that?
some nobody else.
Why didn't
Wow.
you
They go,
tell
man,
your
why are you
teammates?
running so good?
Yeah, why did you keep that to yourself?
I didn't. They didn't. Listen, it only takes a consummate professional to even pack his turf shoes.
That's true.
His rain shoes on grass. See what
you
I'm
did-
saying?
But you know, they on Fridays they say pack your shoes and stuff. Did the
I
equipment
didn't
guy
even-
make that announcement?
Wait, Ty, I packed some Jordans and some turf rain shoes. That was it.
Oh, you ain't take no
And I
cleats.
say, no. None. And they say, hey, you didn't pack no cleats. I say, I don't need to. They go, what you going? I said, because I'm the running back and I know what I can run with.
I'm going to ask you a very
And guess
important.
what? I was out there like I was all pro, and they was running on slipping all over the place because that plastic
What
on that
J's?
ice
That's
didn't
what I need.
work.
Leroy, what J's was it? That's like the
Huh?
out of everything you just said, the
You're
most
right.
important question is what
Oh, no,
number
because
He was
Jordans?
running in J's.
But
Was
here's the
it?
deal. Here's the deal. I never wore turf shoes on turf. I always wore basketball shoes.
Me too. That's
So-
that old school turf.
So
You on AstroTurf?
so when
Yeah, it was different.
yeah, so
The
so
sevens.
so I didn't want all that traction on the turf. The tennis shoes was good enough. So
I just want to know
what-
what number Jordans it was. Ones, twos, threes?
whatever number they had, dude. Look,
That's sad.
everybody got that football. You know, you get that football catalog. That football
East Bay.
catalog to
the threes.
This
East
dude was
Bay.
in the East Bay.
East Bay. That's it. That's
That's-
it.
you know when people get
If he is
that people
talking
get
about
that
the East
football
Bay one.
catalog. They
Yeah.
would give you the football catalog to pick out your shoes,
Yeah.
and then they hand me the basketball catalog.
There you go.
That's what I wore, and guess what? I knew where I was going. I knew what I was doing. I just needed traction to do that. If you came all out of control, it didn't take much to get right by you. But so the field is going to freeze regardless, because if you put the tarp over it, the heat from the field and the cold air when it changes, it's going to freeze anyway.
And there's moisture in the ground that is already below freezing.
So are you insinuating that they wear some Jordans on Saturday?
No,
Now
Jays.
Leroy's a meteorologist.
No, they have, Ty, what they do, what you can do now, because the grass, the grass is all year round, it's not dirt. But what you can do is you can wear your rain turfs. Oh. The rain turfs have that little knob on the bottom.
I know what you're talking, because I got some of them at the house.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at what you had to do.
I actually like them better than a lot of shoes, because they comfortable and now you can still get a nice break on them.
That should be a segment, a footwear choice by Leroy Horde.
Leroy, let me ask
Sponsored, Tri-C.
Let me ask you about Deshaun Watson.
Go ahead.
I ran across somebody from the VFW, right? Old school dude. He an old school Mason, right?
What is VFW?
He comes to me, he said, Deshaun Watson played a little better this week. And I said, yeah, once, he didn't have any turnovers or whatever. He said, nah, you could tell he playing better by the way he acted. I said, what you mean by that? He said, well, back in our day, I'm an older gentleman, he about 80. He said they used to call it Bronco breaking. He said sometimes, when you do stuff, they try to take your spirit from you. In the first 2 games, I didn't see that level of spirit. And I said, yeah, he was more exuberant. He was more demonstrative.
Yeah, more swag.
You seen the first down dance?
Yeah.
So
and I'm going to ask you about this, because I do believe to a certain extent athletes in the spotlight, there's times where you could be attacked in a certain way, where it's like they put you in a place and say, now don't you act up no more. And until you get to a place where you comfortable enough to say, I'm gonna go out here and play my game. If I talk, I talk.
Yes.
If I'm moving first down mark, I'm gonna do it.
Absolutely.
And I feel like Deshaun Watson has to get back to the place where he's Deshaun Watson and he ain't worried about, if I do a first down, somebody gonna have some signs up. What are your thoughts about his demeanor and the way he could come back and how he needs to act as far as on the field to get to where he wants to go?
I can give you a perfect example of what it is. It's about being comfortable. It's about knowing and being more familiar with what you have to do on the field, that you can just go out and do it and feel comfortable doing it. And then everything else that you have done, you can get back to doing those things. The first couple of weeks, he had to be nervous as hell. The dude ain't played football in 700 days. So I could understand why he might be a little tight, why the ball was bouncing, why. And then the next week, he got a little more comfortable, took more chances, right? This third week, he was more aware of what was going on the field, his surroundings. He started getting back to Deshaun of old. It's going to take some time, but as he starts getting comfortable, you're going to start seeing more and more of his confidence come out in the things he does to play, in how he plays. So I expected as much. I expected that the first couple of weeks he's going to be, a little quiet. He's not going to be as boisterous as he would normally be. And as he gets more comfortable, as the guys get more comfortable, because guess what? You also, and kudos to Deshaun for doing this. The things you talking about the first couple of weeks is that he was, not as quiet, not as demonstrative. You can't come in there guns a-blazing, right? You can't, you have to go about it a certain way, simply because you're new to this team. And those guys been playing football for 12 weeks. So you got to be careful with how you come in, because it don't take much for another player in that locker room to call you out. And so you got to be careful that you don't come in guns a-blazing,
No rah-rah speeches then, right? What we need to be doing.
Right. You gotta play it close to the vest. You gotta get some skin in the game before you start suggesting what we need to do. And so kudos to him for taking those first few weeks in practice and in the game, right? And kind of sitting back and kind of playing his part and not necessarily coming into the huddle saying, this my show now. This my stuff.
Right.
Leroy, what happened to Kareem Hunt? Why he ain't as productive as he used to be? What you
Well, here's what I would say about Kareem Hunt. And you guys are a little bit off to this extent. Backup running backs.
I'm about to say we dummies.
Yeah.
Come on.
I ain't know.
I don't win the ball. I'm gonna ask you.
You can tell it's sting.
But think about this. You're talking about a backup running back that's gonna have 500+ yards.
That's a lot.
That's not a bad season.
That is a good season.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to put what he's doing in perspective. He got 4 yards a carry. So he ain't playing like no scrub. That means if he had 300 carries, he'd have 1,200 yards. So that's not a scrub season. He's limited with his opportunities because he plays with Nick Chubb.
Yeah, but wait a second.
This is
Leroy,
explosive.
nobody said he was a scrub.
Explosive.
G said, and I agree, and I've said it before, he doesn't look as explosive. 4 yards per carry is okay, but that's not special. Kareem Hunt was special when he first came in the league.
He did have the 1,300 all-purpose, right? It was 12.
Yeah.
He had about 8 on the ground,
Yeah.
and about 4 and
When is
almost
this?
double-digit touchdowns.
Right, and maybe he will look special again if he becomes a number 1 back somewhere. I don't know. I don't even know if he's going to get that opportunity.
Here, let's not say that Kareem Hunt is what he is based on the numbers when he's not getting the same opportunities.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so
Right, we get it.
And so to say and all I'm doing is trying to take the numbers that he does have and put it in the context of what he's asked to do. You go look at all the numbers for backup running backs, short yardage guys, big, third down guys. Go look at those numbers. They always in the game when it's third down. I was always in the game at 3rd and 2. Get 3 yards and everybody dapping me up, but my yards per carry is 3 yards. So if you can then take those opportunities and still make it a 4-yard average, that means you are doing something. So I'm not going to take anything away from Kareem Hunt. He is doing an excellent job with what his opportunities and what they're asking him to do. You're talking about a backup running back who plays in a lot of short yardage situations, who plays a lot with Nick Chubb when he's running around and going in motion and stuff like that. And he's still producing what he is. All I can do is take that and say, okay, this is the role. He's playing the role fine. Would it be different if he got more opportunities? We don't know. But to say that, he's lost a step or he don't have the same explosiveness, a lot of that has to do with the opportunities that he is getting and the circumstances in which he's playing in the game.
Yeah, he was featured way more in that Kansas City offense than he ever has been
Sure.
here. Hey, Leroy,
Absolutely.
Leroy, a question for you about the game itself. So the Saints obviously have a much easier path to the playoffs than the Browns do. If the Browns win out, they have a 3% chance of making the playoffs. If the Saints win out, they have a 43% chance. So the game is obviously more meaningful to the Saints. Does that scare you at all?
No. Look, it's a weird dynamic with the Cleveland Browns. Where they are right now is here. They can beat any team in the NFL, and they can lose to any team in the NFL.
That's true.
It's terrible. You watching
Who
you
you
watch
say
I
that
watch
about
every
any
game
team?
on pins. I watch these games
Houston
on
almost
pins
beat
and
Kansas
needles
City,
because
though.
I know that both of them are options, you know, and so from that standpoint, a lot of teams can't say that.
Right.
Like there's some teams out there that if they play certain teams, you know, they ain't got a chance in hell.
What's your fear
And that's
meter on
what's so
Andy
frustrating
Dalton?
about this year, huh?
What's your
Say
fear
it
meter
again?
on Andy Dalton, 1 to 10?
With 40-mile-an-hour winds, 0.
2,
I think we'd all be low single digit, like in the
Two.
3s.
40
but
mile
I would
winds?
say this. But I would say this: they got a dynamic running back.
No, they
they
do.
do.
Yeah, they do.
Ooh, goodness!
Our linebackers is the weakest link right now.
Yeah. Now, for
I'm
whatever
telling
reason,
you,
Averaging less than 4 yards per carry, less than 4 yards.
so there you go. There you go.
He's
So,
a bigger
like,
factor in the pass game.
but he's dynamic. That's what Leroy's saying.
But he hasn't been dynamic. He's averaging 3.9.
Leroy, Greg Roman decided he was going to throw the ball 30 times against the worst run defense anybody has ever seen. And that's why Baltimore took the L. I can't imagine New Orleans, particularly with the wind. I would set over-under on passes from the Saints at 15 on Saturday. I just don't think they're going to throw it. They don't have. They probably won't need to.
Here's what I would say about that. Make them pass. Make them pass.
Get him in 3rd and long.
Absolutely. I got to tell you, I don't care what quarterback you are. You coming in the wind blowing sideways 30, 40 miles an hour, and it's 3rd and long, you ain't going to hand it off.
Right, yeah.
Good luck.
Unless you're Bill Belichick against the Bills.
Right. Good luck. And the only reason why Belichick could do that was because he was having success running the football.
Right, yeah.
So
There should be a goal
that's what
line,
I'm gonna say. If you are the Browns, you better make damn sure you stop the run. Otherwise, it's gonna be 10 passes and 37 rushes.
That's a fact. And the
That's a
game,
fact.
the game gonna be over with in an hour and a half.
You know who their
It's
second?
gonna be
You know who their second back
Good.
is
I'm
right
going to
now?
be
by
there.
the
It's
way?
cold.
Do you guys know who their second,
Mark
their number 2
Ingram?
back is right now?
Mark
No,
Ingram?
he's hurt. Does anybody know who their second
Hill?
back is right now?
Taysom Hill.
He's not a running back.
No, but he does run the
He
ball.
does
He gets,
run
he
the
He's
ball.
not their
does some-
second.
No,
running
Ingram-
back.
They don't even have.
Ingram's hurt.
I don't think they.
It's a guy who was really good like 5-6 years ago. You probably don't even know he's still in the league, but he just got picked up by them a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, you talking about Todd Gurley?
No.
Similar, but not Todd Gurley. David Johnson.
Oh,
Oh, wow. He's not,
I forgot.
Yeah.
That guy was really good.
But I
Do you
wonder.
know how many yards David Johnson has this season?
Well, he just got picked up by them a couple of weeks
No,
ago.
that's why it's funny. Guess how many
Yeah.
yards he
Under
has.
200, I'd say.
8.
Yeah, it's just been the last 2 games that he's been their third
It-
back.
He got 5
But
carries for 8
like
yards.
so you're kind of making my earlier point for me.
They only have one back, essentially.
Look at all these backup running backs in the league. Look what they're asked to do.
Yeah, but
Nick
Leroy,
Chubb is asked to do the same things, and he's excelling at it.
Yeah, Tony Pollard's a second running back. He's much better than Kareem Hunt right now.
He also gets more opportunities.
He does.
He does.
Well, that's only because
He gets a
Ezekiel
lot
Elliott
more
missed
opportunities.
games.
I mean,
Yeah, but he's more
Okay,
a part of
yeah.
their every game offense than
Yes.
than
Tony
Kareem
Pollard's
is.
the starter.
Whoa.
They
Hunt's on a
almost, they
milk carton.
almost,
Whoa.
Tony Pollard's the starter.
No, he
Pollard
not.
Pollard
Ezekiel
almost
is.
splits carries with Ezekiel Elliott.
I bet it's real close. Now Zeke has missed time with injury.
The only,
that's
the
part
only
of it.
running
And
backs
that's
that
probably
split
why
carries
Pollard,
is,
if he does have more
is
carries,
Aaron
that would
Jones
be why.
and A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, but I have Dillon in fantasy, and I can just tell you from watching many of their games, Dillon doesn't touch the ball nearly as
And
much.
I got Aaron Jones, and he get the ball. I'll say this: this is going to set up again, once again, Leroy. This is how this thing works. I'm gonna just give it to the whole world right now.
What it is.
Joe Woods,
Taysom Hill is second on the Saints.
Holler at your boy.
450 rushing yards.
holler at your boy Joe Woods. You got
Wow.
50-mile-an-hour winds.
But they don't use him as a
You
running
got
back.
one running back in Alvin Kamara. They're not going to use multiple backs.
Sell out on the run.
You better be an Eagle. That old Buddy Ryan,
No, 46 Bear.
dig that back
46.
up.
46 Bear.
Yeah. 9 in the box. 10 in the box.
I have
46.
everybody named Mom up on that line of scrimmage. Like they giving out free hams or something. And we going to be up there. Now, if you let this man and you let them get with Andy Dalton, 200 plus on the ground. See, you know it, Leroy. You can scheme open. They can't just block all them people. Stopping the run is easier than counting as 5. I got more people coming than you got to block. Now,
Yeah, but here's the
should be
problem.
easy.
You still got to tackle.
And that's been a problem.
Yeah. But here's, you
Your
know
leading
what?
tackler's a safety, and he's got fewer than 90 tackles.
That's not fair
I
because
I
their
would say-
mics.
I would
It's been
say
3
this.
different mics.
That's a fact.
Right. No, that's like people don't realize how important the Mike linebacker is.
Please preach on it because I
and-
said something about it before the season started.
And you know what? Think about this. If you have a good Mike linebacker, he is just as important as Deshaun Watson. Don't believe
Wow.
anything else.
That's a
I'm
big
telling
statement.
you.
The Cleveland
That's a
Browns
fact.
organization
I mean,
need to hear this.
The way
because-
Leroy
So
talks, the
if you
quarterback's
go, if
worse
you
than the
go
kicker.
through, if you go through 3 of them,
Yeah.
you talking about third string quarterback.
Yeah.
That's a fact. They like you think of all the Hall of Fame linebackers that played Mike linebacker. When that guy was playing, that team was much better,
Yeah, that's very true.
right?
It is important, and it's overlooked, and the Browns have overlooked
And guess
it.
what? It don't even matter that guy's making plays, and that's what you need to get over. I don't know what it is about that, but teams that have a strong Mike linebacker, or a team, or that's the leader on defense, and he's around for the whole season, those teams usually end up being better on defense.
Interesting. Hey, before
can't
we let you
explain
go,
it.
Leroy, I know this is an interesting game for you. You're from New Orleans, but your heart is with the Browns. Give us a winner and a final score.
Browns 17-3.
And that would,
When I'm watching this game, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm watching the game. I got my little juice. I got my snacks.
I
Whatever.
like your
Beer.
T-shirt too.
yeah, I do.
Oh,
too.
none.
It's the new nice.
Hey. So I'm gonna say this. While I'm watching this game, right? If they allow or put themselves in a situation where the red rifle don't have to throw the ball, I'm gonna be mad as hell.
The red
Yeah,
rifle.
I'm with you.
I'm gonna be mad.
Quarterbacks that are
'cause he-
mediocre or below should not have nicknames.
Why he call him?
What?
Well, that's his nickname. It has been going all the way back
That's
to
his nickname.
college.
Hey, Leroy, when you come on next week, are you going to tell us the kicker is more important than the quarterback?
There you go. The Mike linebacker is the quarterback on defense.
That's true,
I'm just busting your balls.
and so they're very important. Leroy,
Wait, before
have a
Leroy
great
goes,
Christmas.
Before he goes, we got to remind you guys that Leroy, Tim, DeQuell have all signed some memorabilia.
Oh, that's right.
It is up for auction. Auction, not the right word. We're giving it away. To enter, go to WKYC.com/contest. You have to subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show channel. A mini helmet and a football all signed. DeQuell, Leroy, Tim, individually.
I signed a
not all three at
Buckeye killer. I signed a Buckeye killer.
once. Contest runs through the day after Christmas. Leroy,
What a
appreciate you.
character.
Merry
See you,
Christmas,
Leroy.
my
All right,
friend.
man.
I hope you get a lump of coal.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Even though
Happy
you called us a bunch
Hanukkah.
of dummies.
Hey, I think I want to be Jewish so I could get 8 gifts, but that's all right. That's all right. Happy holidays to you.
Bull says there's room on the
Bull.
bandwagon.
You can join us, Leroy.
You
We'll
got-
bring you in.
You got room? Nah. I'm good. I'm good.
All right,
I'm
listen,
good. I'm
enjoy
good.
Christmas. We'll talk to you next week, Leroy.
All righty. All right.
Great
later.
Leroy
See you,
Horde
Leroy.
on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I love how he sort of tried to talk like he was a meteorologist there for a second.
Yeah, right.
You know, you all are
guys don't
dummies.
know.
You don't know anything about condensation. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to bring in the person that knows more about weather, more about condensation than anybody I've ever met. Chief meteorologist for WKYC, my co-host on the 4 o'clock show, What's New, Betsy Klinger joining us on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. That's a big
Good
win
morning.
for us. That's
Good
a big
morning.
win for us. So, what are we? I'm an idiot, and I'm going to the game Saturday.
That's true. Are you going to be one of those dopes? You see these dopes at
No
every game.
shirt.
Take
You
the
better go
shirts
shirt.
off.
No shirt.
You and Corey, no
By
shirt.
the way,
No
those
shirt.
guys are not tough. They're idiots.
Yeah, well, call me an idiot, but that's how I'm going to the game. Betsy, what are we in for Saturday? What are the Browns in for? What kind of game? How will this impact the game?
Well, I mean, significant impacts are likely. There's already a winter storm watch that's been issued. That starts Thursday night, so tomorrow night, and goes all the way through Saturday evening into Sunday morning, dependent upon location.
Wow.
We have a triple threat that is going on. We have the snow, we have the cold, we have the wind. The most important thing is the cold, then the wind, then the snow. So I figured we get this out of the way first. This is Friday, 9 p.m. We are in the thick of things. Look at these temperatures. We are at or below zero in many locations.
Are those wind chills or temperatures?
These are just the air temperatures.
Oh, my God.
These are just the air temperatures. This is not the wind chill. The wind chills at this point are about 15 to 25 below in Northeast Ohio. But we do have snow that's coming down. Now, the snow that comes in, this is interesting, will be super fluffy. It'll be like powdered sugar because this air is so cold and so dry. Yeah. So there'll be very fine snow crystals that come down. But look where the snow lines up, even as we head into noon. This is the product of a southwest wind. We will have a long lake axis band of snow. If we have just a little bit more of a westerly wind, we could bring more snow into downtown Cleveland, but I really think the majority of the snow will be out east, out into Lake and northern Ashtabula counties, and then out over the lake too. But again, the snow is the least of our worries out of all of this. Let's talk a little bit more specifically about the temperatures and the wind chills. This is Saturday at 6 a.m. Muni Lot is opening up. Temperatures single digits near zero. I would not be surprised if these are looking warm right now. I think the models are not handling just how cold this air is all that well. So we could see temperatures down near zero in downtown Cleveland. Our nice thing is that we're on the lake, but the lake is not going to be as much of an influence because of that southwest wind. So all the wind will be coming offshore. But wind chills, look at that, 15 to 25 below zero wind chills at 6 a.m. As we move forward in time, by noon, it's not getting better. It's getting worse. And so we're talking about these air temperatures right around zero still, wind chills down 20 to 25 below zero. Here's one thing that I thought was really interesting as we kind of bring all this together is the wind direction and the stadium itself. So if we're just specifically looking at wind speeds, we are so lucky because we have Burke Lakefront Airport right next door. And that is one of the sites in Northeast Ohio that has live weather capturing capabilities. So there's a weather station there. And it's also a reference point for a lot of the forecast models. So we can have point-specific data. So we can easily say Burke Lakefront Airport going to have the same conditions as downtown Cleveland and Brown Stadium. Yeah. So 44-mile-per-hour wind gusts at 11 a.m. Just wait. It gets better. We go to 50 plus.
Cade York is
at
going in sick.
When he gets a field goal,
Not
he's
a
the
great
man.
day. And these wind gusts don't change through the day. They continue. So sustained winds, 25 to 35 with those wind gusts, 40, 50, even maybe up to 55 miles per hour, depending upon how this is all going to go down. And again, this continues through the entire game. There is no relief. So let's say, finally we get to 4 or 5 o'clock. Things don't settle down. It's going to be a brutal drive home. Here's the other thing, and I don't think you can really see on your screen, but I have wind streamlines on here. Okay. And
I see it.
As we zoom really close into Brown Stadium, First Energy Stadium, that wind is basically going from the west end zone to the east end zone. It's going straight through the stadium. The biggest complicating factor in this will be the southwest gates, because if you think about Brown Stadium, that is a big giant hole in the stadium. That wind is going to absolutely be funneling through there and slamming straight head on into the dog pound. So we have some really gnarly conditions that are set up, not just for snow, that's the least of these things, but then also for the wind and the wind gusts and those wind chills. I'm going 7. I'm being nice. I think we could be down around 4 or 5. But no matter what the air temperature is, we're going to have those wind chills that are down 15 to 20 below. You look real happy, Crawford.
And those winds. So the Browns want to be going towards the
east end zone for the fourth quarter.
Right, because maybe you'll get that 68-yard field goal.
The ball will sail going east, and going west is going to get shut down.
Yeah.
But once you're inside the stadium, the wind swirls around. Everybody knows that. So,
that's true, yeah.
The upper deck folks have just a hell of a game ahead, and the folks that are right on either side of that southwest opening, they're going to have really heck of a game coming their way too.
Layer up.
So
Layer up.
Yeah, what's your recommendation, Betsy, for people like, because
Jay,
frostbite is dangerous being out there in this kind of weather?
Club.
It is exceptionally dangerous, and the bigger problem is going to be the beer drinking and the liquor drinking that's taking place. And the other part too is, remember, everything's going to be freezing up. Like your liquids, now granted, like straight vodka will not freeze, but you know,
I love that
if
Kling
you've got
knows that.
soda pop outside, there's a reason you keep it in the freezer. And they do ice shooters, but that's beyond the point.
Betsy's so much fun. I'm just going to say
like
that right
soda
now.
or any of that, I can't on this show. But you know, it's going to be a big complicating factor. I don't know that the grills are going to work. You know, although you can't have the open flame grills, right? So
Well, allegedly.
that's not going to be too bad.
Yeah.
All right. So
you also can't have beer or any alcohol in the Muni bar.
The bottom line is, it's
what
going
if
to
the
be
porta
absolutely
potties
horrible
fall
out
over?
there.
Oh, don't
that
even go
could be
there.
a thing.
Yeah, they might with 60-mile-an-hour winds. Betsy, you're the best.
Thanks, Betsy.
Great stuff. I'll see you upstairs after the show. Thank you very much.
Am I the first woman that's been on this show?
No, we have women all the
not?
time. Aditi's a regular from CBS Sports.
We're very progressive.
But
Mary Kay Cabot.
You are the first meteorologist.
That's true.
I can put that on my resume.
She is the chief. Betsy Kling, I'll see you in a little bit. Thank you very
Betsy.
much.
Bye, guys.
I love that Betsy knows all the alcohol rules.
Yeah, that's
She's
good.
so much fun. Betsy is a
The
blast.
bottom line of what she had to say is, it's going to be awful, beyond awful out there.
Thank
the wind
God
and the
I've
cold,
been
much
depressed
worse
by
than the
it.
snow.
You were thinking what I was thinking.
Why, I don't. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. Just because it's cold, that don't mean nothing.
It's the wind.
The
It's
wind
the
is
wind.
the
Yeah,
worst
that's
part.
what's gonna get you.
The cold we don't care about.
Yeah.
The snow, not so
But
much.
the wind affects the game more than anything,
wind.
right?
But even when you're talking about intermediate routes,
Yeah.
you can throw a football 10 yards and it ain't gonna do nothing.
Not in no wind.
If it's 60-mile-an-hour winds,
it's-
I'm gonna-
it-
in the wind, yes it is.
Statistics show any footballs thrown under 10 yards or 10 to 15 yards don't have that much of an effect until it gets over 25 miles an hour.
well, it's
which
going to
is
be
50.
consistently over that
What
football
is
game.
the
you know?
when the Bills played the Patriots and the Patriots elected to run the ball? Was it? Was it the conditions like this? or
Windy,
was it worse?
very windy, cold and windy.
Yeah.
Very similar conditions.
It was 3 times.
That game had
50-mile-an-hour winds. I don't think it was
winds, so we
as
could be
cold,
looking-
but it was cold, but it was
So
very
whoever
windy.
runs the ball effectively Saturday is going to win.
Essentially, that's it. And the reason that this game scares me is because Greg
line.
Roman inexplicably decided to throw it 30 times.
Yeah.
I don't think that Allen's going to have that choice to make because of the conditions. I think he's going to have to come into this game knowing. Oh, by the way, they've already their equipment truck is going to get here tonight. The Saints have moved up their schedule because there was a lot of concern. Friday's going to be an absolute nightmare travel day.
Yeah.
I had friends coming in, and my son was coming in Friday. We moved their flights to tomorrow and today to make sure we get them in. So the Saints are coming in tomorrow.
I'm going to go home.
When the Saints come marching in
Thursday night.
When the Saints come marching
Jay.
in.
Yeah, you were thinking what I was
I
thinking
gotta
when she was
drive up
talking about the
Saturday.
The
winds
field goals,
blowing
yeah.
that way. If the Browns win the toss, they will
might do that.
absolutely defer, and they will absolutely have the back.
Yes.
They will be going east for the second and the fourth quarter,
That's
and
what you
that
want.
does give you the opportunity to have an all-time long
Right.
field goal.
True. However, she's right.
It's
that the
gonna
wind
swirl, yeah.
swirls there.
Yeah.
By the way, a couple of quick notes I saw. Amari Cooper spoke today. He said, for some reason, they asked him about, for some reason, because of the weather, he got asked about, do you want a dome? And Batonio was asked about it. Batonio said he doesn't want a dome.
Yeah, I don't either.
Offensive linemen never want
I
domes,
don't want a
right?
dome.
But
You'd use it. It would be helpful 2 or 3 games a year.
if we can
Maybe.
find this quote, if we can bring it up,
We'll
Mike.
do it later.
Okay, because Amari Cooper had some interesting comments about Watson and Stefanski and their relationship.
What would paraphrase for us?
Just basically like they got a really great relationship, and
Good.
it's not, this idea about, because what my guess is that somebody said, hey, how's Watson fitting into Stefanski's system? And Amari Cooper basically said, well, it's not really what's happening. It's like they're working together to figure out the best plays for Deshaun Watson, which is what you want.
That's the way
Right?
it should work.
Yes, and that's what he said.
most head coaches ask the quarterback, "What are you most comfortable with?"
Absolutely.
The quarter. That's what. Yeah, I didn't agree with Leroy. No, the middle linebacker. Middle linebackers don't.
Yeah, that's
get to,
crazy.
You don't get to go. Leroy,
Whoa.
come on.
It's an important position.
Of course it's important.
To compare it to quarterback is
Come on
nuts.
now.
The quarterback of defense.
The ball is in the quarterback's hand every
How
play.
many Mike linebackers can we even name?
He's not going into the locker room
league?
and
Yeah.
telling them, "Here's what we about to
Bobby
do."
Wagner,
No.
Darius Leonard, Fred Warner.
They can be impact. It's a
Roquan
very
Smith.
important position. Very important.
Yeah, sure.
And that point is
That's the point.
The point that Leroy said was as important as the quarterback.
that's crazy.
For
But-
defense.
But here's the thing.
He is the quarterback of the
Well,
defense.
exactly.
So
I think
fact.
as important as the quarter, the middle linebacker is to the defense what the quarterback
and that's
is to the
fair.
offense.
But to say
Leroy-
he's in the
Leroy-
grand scheme of things as important.
Leroy played in the era with
It was a
all-time
different era.
great
Yeah.
linebackers.
Yeah, great linebacker.
you know.
I mean, these dudes was.
They don't
different.
have those kind of
They don't got them
linebackers
dudes
consistently.
no more.
Well, anyway. And by the way, Nick Foles is starting for the
I
Colts. this
seen
week.
that. They benched Matt Ryan again.
Well,
He's
I think
done.
Matt
I
Ryan's
I
career
just
is
picked
over.
up Matt
Matt
Ryan
Stafford's
for playing my
career
game
is
against
over.
Earl.
Matt Stafford's career is probably
I'm
over.
gonna have to
too.
cut him now.
Okay, bucket game.
We do. Before that, though, one quick question from the YouTube chat, and I wish Betsy was here to answer this. Donnie M says, "What are the chances they move the game from Sunday for safeties?" Zero.
Zero.
Right?
Not
I don't
happening.
think they'd move it.
Not
Zero.
happening.
The only reason they moved the Bills game is because
It was
it was
snow
going to
all
be
over.
impossible for people to get
Yeah.
there. It was dangerous.
And Betsy has said all along, this isn't going to be a snow event.
Right.
This is going to be a weather event where the star of the show will be the wind and the temperature.
Yeah, the snow is more on Friday.
You get hit.
It is expected to
Yeah.
squall Sunday too, lesser
right.
chance. But so there could be snow, but this isn't going to be like people tend to measure winter storms. How much snow did you get?
Yeah.
It's about impact. Betsy has taught me that, if nothing
Yeah.
else. It's about how the storm impacts day-to-day life. And the impact of this storm is going to be massive, but it's not going to be, snow won't be the star
Right.
of the
So
show.
miscellaneous question: will we have a snowy Christmas this year?
Yes, there will definitely be snow
there
on the ground
supposed
for
to be?
Christmas.
Is it?
Yeah. What falls is going to stay because it will not be above
Oh,
Christmas.
you say the snow will be down.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
so-
what I'm talking
so
about. Will it be snow on the ground?
There will be a blanket of it because it's not going to be above 32 degrees.
Yeah.
It's not forecasted to be until after Christmas. Well, right now there's nothing above 32 in the forecast.
You know, 5 seconds, Mike, before you go. Isn't it weird? Like, we always think of snowy Christmas because we all grew up in cold weather places.
Yeah.
But, like, if you grew up in California or Florida or Arizona
Texas.
or
Texas.
Texas, like,
Yeah.
you don't even,
That-
maybe they even saw snow.
That's why I feel you should have sites where it's cold weather games too. You're not gonna just be playing in Florida.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
Like-
I think that's just.
Mikey.
But
All right,
it's
it's time to play
corporate.
the Bucky game. Today's
Yeah.
Bucky game is brought to us by Cleveland Whiskey.
Got
The
it.
Christmas bourbon available now. Visit your local liquor store. Take some home today. It's
feel like we
whiskey
need to
without
try that.
limits.
I need that
Please
Christmas
drink
bourbon.
responsibly. All right, guys. So we did the Bucky game once before.
Explain it.
We're gonna explain it again for anyone who missed it.
Blackjack.
It's essentially blackjack.
Yep.
We're gonna play this one twice, and I'm not gonna give you the answer till the second time we play it because we're gonna do it two different ways. We're gonna see which one works better.
Okay.
The premise of today's game is how many Cavaliers does it take to equal out Donovan Mitchell's three-point total this season?
What is his?
The thing is, the first time we do it, I'm not going to tell you how many threes Mitchell's made
Is this in their careers?
as a Cav.
As
In
a
just their Cavs career.
Just
Wow.
Cavs career?
Just their Cavs career.
Okay.
So wait, this is how many
How many-
threes that Donovan Mitchell's made as a Cav?
This season.
So
As a Cav.
Yeah.
This season. So, yes, as a Cav.
Okay.
So I
but
would.
for
let-
the other guys, it's not. Is it just this
Just
season
as
or
a
is it their
Cavs.
careers?
Just as Cavs.
Cavs career for
But their
everybody
Cavs
else.
career, not just this season.
Yeah, Cavs career. No one
Now,
else is from
I
this
figure
team.
the way we should start is we should try to figure out how many threes Mitchell has hit this
So
year,
he's
and I
probably
would
played-
say
That's
it's
what we're
probably.
going to do, too. So, we'll do the first time. I'm not going to tell you how
Well,
many
let's
Mitchell
think
has.
about it. He's
Yeah.
probably
The
he's
second
missed a few
time,
games,
I will
right?
tell you.
Yeah, I think he's missed two.
He averages
About
probably about
six?
about
No.
8 threes a game. 8
No,
or 9.
no, I don't think it's that high. I'd
Seven?
say
You
it's.
wanna split the
I'd say
difference?
it's 7.
So
I would say.
let's
I was
he's-
actually
So let's say he's played 30 games. That's about 210
3-pointers.
three-pointers. That's 7 for 30 games.
No, well, I think he shoots like 9, but he makes 4.
That's what I was about to say. He's
No.
making like 4.
No, he's got to be making more than
No,
he's not.
I
No,
don't
he's
think
not.
he is. I think it's like 4.
These are made threes, but makes.
Man.
I would say he shoots 7 to 8. I would say he's like in the
I'm
7.5.
gonna say he had 1.
And I'd say for
130
makes,
to
he's
be
probably
safe.
between 3 and 4.
Oh, I think it's more
I'm
than
gonna say
that.
he had 130 on the season.
I think he got 4. He played 30
4
games.
times.
That's 200
30,
well-
that's 120, right?
Four
Yeah, it's
times
120.
30. Yeah, that's
So we say
So do we want to
125.
You're low.
You do think we're low?
I think we'll be.
He might make 5.
I don't think it's 5.
What
That's
if
why
we
we're
made
gonna do it twice. I want to see what you guys think without
What if
knowing.
we made
Then
it?
I'll tell
you
you the
think
exact
3?
number.
You think 4? You think I think
between-
5? You think 4? So why don't we make it like 4 1/4?
Okay, that's fine.
4.25.
So
Okay,
and
so
he's
that's-
played 30 games.
So it's 120 plus
120.
another third. So 150.
Yeah, let's go to 150.
All right.
All right, so first time you guys don't know, you're basing this off 150.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Does Adrunas Ilgauskas equal Donovan Mitchell's career total? Hit or no?
How many threes does he hit?
Maybe,
5.
Maybe 10.
I'd say 10.
Okay.
So y'all hit-
He did have some.
We
some
gonna- I'm a
threes in
hit
big
for
spots.
sure.
I was like,
Hold
what
on.
the
He can
hell
hit.
is he?
Zeke can shoot.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go 20.
Yeah,
because
Zeke
he
can
played
shoot.
here.
He played a long time.
He played here for a long time. So let's go 20.
By the
we
way,
could still
to
even
the
be
fans,
low on
these
that.
guys know this. I ran into Zadrunas at the. Well, I didn't run into him. I didn't
say-
talk to him.
Oh, you didn't talk to
No,
him?
because I don't want to bother it. You
Sure,
know,
right.
He was just there. He was like,
I would have been
like he probably gets bothered all at his height.
Yeah, I know.
I turned around. I'm waiting for cold cuts, and I turn around and he's like, "Whoa!"
So you was waiting for the meet.
I was waiting. Yeah,
Pause.
All right, so you guys are all,
like Icky Woods.
you guys
He
are
has
all
some
hitting
cold
18.
cuts today.
All right, so we're going 150. I think Z might actually be 20. 25.
20, right?
You guys are getting aggressive. Okay.
Okay,
right,
let's
Big
go
Z.
20.
Yeah.
And Drew Gooden.
Oh, shoot. He got like.
God,
Drew Good ain't shoot no.
No, he ain't no 3-point
There's
shooter.
no way he had that many because Mike wouldn't have put him this early if he had that many.
he just didn't. I mean,
just didn't
you remember
shoot
his
threes
career.
like
He just
that.
didn't
Maybe
shoot.
I would say maybe
18.
8, maybe.
So you guys hitting?
How long did he
Yeah,
play for
we
the
definitely
Cavs?
hit.
A long
Big
time.
Z, Drew Gooden, Brad Dougherty.
Wait a second.
Oh,
we didn't even
Doherty.
come up with a number.
No,
What was the number?
let's say 8.
8, right?
You think Drew Gooden only hit 8 threes?
It might be a little higher. If he played like 18, that's like, say you hit 2 a year.
You want to go 10?
Okay.
10.
So that's
We'll go
30.
10.
So we're at 30.
We're at 30.
Okay.
Now, Brad played obviously in an era where the
They
3
didn't shoot
wasn't
threes.
even.
Especially for big guys.
No.
They didn't shoot
Three.
threes
So
at all.
I would say he probably has single digits for sure.
3,
5?
4.
Gonna go 5?
5 to be safe.
Even
Okay,
number
so we're
35.
at 35.
Big Z, Drew Gooden, Brad Dougherty, Jared Allen.
Oh.
Wow,
ain't no
yeah.
shooter.
Again,
He's been here 3 years.
5.
2.5.
5.
5 at
I
most.
want to say 10.
No.
Because these days, even big guys shoot
He
once in a
ain't-
while.
I don't
He
watch a
is
lot
he
of these
making
Cavs games.
Yeah, let's give him. I think we got to give him 5.
5.
I'm with you.
All
Yeah.
right, all right,
He-
5. So that
He
puts us
ain't
at
hit
40.
like that.
40. Okay.
Big Z, Drew Gooden, Brad Dougherty, Jared Allen, Rajon Rondo.
He ain't no shooter.
Wow, I
He
forgot he was on
I
this.
know.
wasn't
I
here
know,
long,
right?
He was here for a
now,
year, right?
you're going for just his time on the Cavs.
Just on
Yes.
the Cavs.
Wasn't he a shooter at that
He was
time?
not a shooter.
No.
He's never been a good shooter.
Just a handle. Let's say.
But he would shoot it.
Let's say
22.
25.
25?
He give him 25?
wow.
That's a lot.
I think
I'll give
that's
him like
high.
15.
Let's split
Let's
this
split it and go 20.
20.
We're at 60 now.
Big Z, Drew
60,
Gooden, Brad
yeah.
Dougherty, Jared Allen, Rajon Rondo, Samardo Samuels.
Samardo.
My
How long
God.
was he here?
I forgot.
I hate that era.
forgot
That's the
about him.
Christian Iyengar era.
I forgot all about him.
I don't even remember what position he played.
Small forward.
I got some throwbacks on
I
here.
think he's a small
God.
forward.
We had him and Bynum.
5.
I feel like 10.
7. 7. Samardo
I'ma say-
Samuels, the pride of
That's a
Louisville.
UG. That's a special for you.
Okay, we'll go to 7.
7.
Where were we with our count?
Who was the last guy?
Before Samuels, was
Rondo.
Who you guys
So
said
we
had
went
20?
with 20 for Rondo?
Yeah, so I think we were at
So it's
65.
60 so we're at 67.
67 now.
said
'cause we were at
7.
6. Okay, we're at 60.
we're at 60,
Okay,
yeah.
so now we're at 67.
Big Z, Drew Gooden, Brad Dougherty, Jared Allen, Rajon Rondo, Samardo Samuels, Dwayne Wade.
Oh, he barely played.
He was here for like 20 games.
Yeah, but he's a good three-point
But he
shooter.
can shoot.
I bet he hit
20.
18.
Somewhere between 8 right below 20.
18 puts us to a kind of an even
because he
number.
was
What's
coming
that?
off,
85.
Right.
he's coming off
Okay,
the bench.
85.
Big Z, Drew Gooden, Brad Dougherty, Jared Allen, Rajon Rondo, Samardo Samuels, Dwayne Wade, and Ben Wallace.
He ain't giving
man,
you
he
none.
shot threes.
0.
Yeah, it might be 0.
0.
It might be 0.
No threes.
Next.
Big Z, Drew Gooden, Brad Dougherty, Jared Allen, Rajon Rondo, Samardo Samuels, Dwayne Wade, Ben Wallace, Shannon Brown.
He was a shooter.
Shannon Brown
he
made
was a
some.
dunker, though, but he was a shooter,
Shout out
too.
to Monica, by the way.
How long did he play here? I can't remember.
A long
I
time.
wanted to say he was here for a
They
while.
kept trying to throw him in as part
could
of the
he
future.
be at 25, 30?
Try to sell you on
I
Shannon
think
Brown.
this might be a sneaky one. I think this might be higher than we think.
Like 40?
He 100.
Oh, you think that high?
Well, if he's 100, then we're over.
We're over.
It might be.
How many years was he here? Like
lot,
4?
bro.
yeah,
like-
longer than you think.
Because he was here before Boobie Gibson.
But he didn't play. Did he play?
Was
this time?
he?
No, he didn't play a lot, but he was here longer
was
than
here.
you think.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and
I'm bowing out on this
and
one.
you played with LeBron. All they did was sit
I
in the
think
You
corner
want to go
and
with?
wait.
You want to go with 50?
Y'all go ahead.
I'm gonna say 50.
Okay, that's 130. and
135.
It might be
Yeah,
done.
we should
We-
stop
I think
there.
I'm done. Yeah.
Let's
We should
put on the
stop.
brakes.
We should.
You're putting the brakes?
We
Yeah.
think that's about. I'm afraid it might have put us over. But we're thinking that we're 130 for Mitchell.
130, 135.
Can I-
Yeah,
No,
and-
we said 150 for Mitchell.
Can
Or
I-
150. So yeah, 150 for Mitchell. We think we're about 135.
Can I
for this
at
game.
least know who the next guy is?
No.
No.
No. You
Because
don't.
that's
gotta
like
do it
knowing
twice.
what the
You need to
what
see
next
the
card is coming in blackjack.
Go ahead, Mike.
You want to hit one more time?
No.
No.
Stop it.
We
Okay.
good.
So we're
Yeah.
stopping at Shannon Brown without knowing the number.
Yeah.
We're going to do it again, and I'm giving you the number.
Okay.
Mitchell has 110 threes this year.
That's it.
Oh, we
110.
we over.
Oh, we're way over that.
We over.
110.
So then maybe we.
Do you want to go back? Do you want to change any
You
answers?
see what he did?
I say we stop
I would
after Shat.
definitely take Brown out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right before Brown. I would just
Yeah.
stop one earlier.
In math,
maybe.
you cheated. In math, you at least got to give us one variable. If 3x puts 2y equal x,
Yeah,
you
give us
give
no
us
variable.
We gotta know what something
Y
is.
equals
Something.
MX plus B.
So now that we know it's 110, though, now we have
Just
that
gave me the
variable. Let's
slope
take
of
Shannon
that.
Brown out of the bucket.
Okay. Brown's out of the bucket.
That puts us under 110.
I think it does.
Based on our guesses.
A
Yeah, I think that
squared
keeps
plus
us
B
under.
squared equals C squared.
All right.
Do you guys want to know the answer?
Yes.
You haven't hit it yet. You
Really?
have not equaled 110.
Even, oh my God.
Ooh, okay.
Even what about with Shannon Brown?
Not 110.
no
Wow.
kidding.
Can you give us the totals for all the
Yep.
guys?
Big Z, 31.
Wow, that's a little more than
higher
we
Yeah.
than we thought.
Drew Gooden, 7.
Okay.
We was
about
doing
we
that.
said eight.
Brad
eight.
Dougherty, 2.
Yeah, we
That
were,
was
on
all
it.
right.
Rondo, 23.
We was on
We
that
were
one,
under
too.
on him.
We
we were a
had-
little under on him.
I think we
said
said
30.
20.
Yeah.
I think we
then
did say 20.
We said 20. That's not too bad.
Samardo Samuels, 1.
Oh, we
Dwayne Wade, 23.
we was about right. We said
Yeah, we're in
20.
the
I
ballpark
think
on
we said
all
18
these.
on
Ben
Dwayne.
Wallace, 0.
We knew that.
Yeah, we got that right.
Oh, I skipped Jared Allen. He had
Oh,
7.
7. Yeah.
Okay, we said 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shannon Brown, 16.
Oh, that's
you
what
guys
that's
were way
okay.
off
Yeah,
on that.
that's what got us.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
now knowing what you know, you want to keep playing?
Yeah, we got to take a hit.
All right, so Steve, let's bring
Well,
up
where
the,
are we now? What's
bring
our
up the Shannon
total?
Brown.
He's
No,
not
don't
going to tell
count
us
it
the
up.
total
No, you know what it
because
is
they'd
now.
be cheating.
Okay.
Okay, bring back to Shannon Brown. Let's add Anderson Varejao to the mix.
Oh my gosh. He
Hit.
had like
He
5.
didn't
Hit.
shoot either.
He would throw one up there once in a while.
Yeah.
Hit.
Make man.
And he was here a long time.
They going to retire his jersey?
No.
You want one more?
I'll take
I think we might need one
Well,
more.
where do we? I didn't add him up when Mike.
No,
gave us
I
the
know.
totals.
He didn't want us to.
Yeah, I didn't want you to.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
obviously cheating.
Yeah.
You want one more?
I think we
Yeah.
should take one more.
Yeah,
'cause
give us one
Varejao
more.
doesn't.
Joe
didn't-
Smith.
Oh, wow.
who's a great 3-pointer shooter
Yeah,
now,
but-
but he didn't
but-
play here much.
Right.
Bro, that.
Let's pause after Joe Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, he must have hit a decent amount of 3-pointers.
I would think he did.
Joe Smith hit 1 3-pointer as a Cav.
Are you kidding
What?
me?
As a Cav.
Who is Joe
As a Cav,
Smith?
1.
I know.
He's
But
on the
Number one
Nets
overall
now.
pick, Tyvis.
Wow.
You want to hit one more?
I never heard of it.
well, we're going to have to hit one.
Let's hit one more.
Who is Joe?
Tristan Thompson.
That'll do it.
Hit it again.
Yeah, Tristan.
No, hit again.
You hit again?
Yeah.
Tristan,
How many
Tristan
Thompson
didn't hit any
hit?
threes.
10.
9.
Hit again.
10.
One more.
Hit again.
Ira Newble.
Ira.
Ira.
Hit again. Hit again.
Ira Newble has the most threes of anyone on this list.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
about
we're
four
pausing
real.
right
All
there.
right, pause after
They're
Ira
about
Newble.
50.
Y'all are way Anderson Varejao added to the bucket got you exactly to 110.
Ah.
So, in totality, Donovan Mitchell this year has 110 threes in their Cavalier careers. Big Z, Drew Gooden, Brad Dougherty, Jared Allen, Ray Arnold, Smarto Sanders, Dwayne Wade, Ben Wallace, Shannon Brown, and Anderson Varejao combined.
What is that, 11
for
players?
110.
And how
10 players.
And how much does how many? I think he's shooting about 8 threes a game.
Mitchell?
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever said he made 8 threes is what that would be on pace to set the record.
Well,
by,
yeah, I was
that's Steph Curry.
Yeah.
I said seven.
I would say he
it
shoots
takes-
between 7 and 8, and he makes below 3.
he shoots 9, he makes 4.
I said the 4. Yeah,
That's good, though. I mean,
That is good.
4 out of 9 is
43%. That's a very, very good percentage.
Guys, he's played here not even half a season, though, when he's got more than 10 Cavaliers, which probably, if you add up their years here, it's well over 25
In fairness,
years.
none of those guys really shot threes.
Yeah,
No.
different.
Except for
it's not
Dwayne
exactly,
Wade when he wasn't here.
It's not apples to apples,
Big Z
but
shooter.
it does put into comparison what he's done in such a short period of time and how good he's been.
In a short period of time, McNuggets, I hate to say it,
Uh-oh.
No, you ain't.
Don't do it.
You ain't gonna say it.
No.
Nope.
he might be better than Kyrie.
No.
Oh, stop.
No. No.
What you mean, no stop? That's
He's
it.
played
it out.
30 games.
Hold on.
Kyrie won a
Till he
championship.
get a ring, cut it out. Cut it out.
Whoa.
Cut it out.
Whoa.
Cut it out.
When you look at Kyrie, what he did,
Just blasphemy.
go back and watch. Colin Sexton, low-key, had better numbers than Kyrie Irving.
You drinking the Kool-Aid.
No, for real. Like this, the highest amount of points Kyrie ever averaged was 25, and that was the year he left. Before that, with Deion Waiters and them, they was winning.
That team was trash.
Then he got LeBron.
Cut it out.
He had nobody around him. Those teams were
I'm
trash.
sitting here telling you.
Cut it out.
Come on now.
We need to go.
Y'all act like that ain't close.
Cut it out.
Y'all act like that ain't close.
Who's got to do
Cut it
something
out.
beyond
Cut
30
it
games?
out.
But hold on, when you say do something, you got to think about it like this.
Cut it out.
Anybody who you got LeBron on your squad, why do you think Kyrie's
Fair
not
enough.
here?
Fair.
Because he said, I
But
didn't
you know
do
what?
nothing. He
Fair.
carried me.
Fair. However, as great as LeBron is, they don't win that championship without Kyrie.
I get it.
Cut
but
it
here's
out.
what I'm going to say.
Cut it
Yeah.
out.
You can't look at skill for skill, pound for pound.
But you can't say,
What about it?
It's close, bro.
Man, cut
well,
it out.
Donovan Mitchell's a better player than Kyrie Irving now.
You believe that?
I would right now, today.
I would definitely
Mitchell's
agree
better
with
than
that
Kyrie.
now.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
but,
what do you mean?
but you can't say he's a more accomplished
At,
Cavalier.
in the height, in the prime, I'd take Kyrie over dang near about anybody in the NBA. Because that's a certified
Kyrie is
bucket
a whack
getter.
job, and he's unreliable, though.
Category.
The best
What's
finisher
that?
as a guard, and I got a
Can
shot.
Mitchell beat Giannis?
Stop
I mean,
it.
no, like listen, I love Donovan Mitchell. He's
Can
been
he-
here 30 games.
Can he
before
do
died.
what?
No.
I'm saying, can he beat Giannis once this season before we put him on the same pedestal as Kyrie in terms of what they did as a Cav?
Can he beat Giannis?
I'm asking. They hasn't beat him. They played tonight. Like, can he beat Giannis before we put him in that?
Oh, okay. You talking about in the game?
That's silly. I don't agree with
So
that.
what you, as far as
You talking about in the game?
I'm gonna give
I
y'all,
thought
I'm
you
gonna
was
give y'all
talking
this.
about career.
I'm gonna give y'all this. If you watch it, if you look at it, and you talk about impact, right? You look when Kyrie got here. It's the same type thing. They had young guys. They had hold on.
Come on, he didn't have the talent that
I'm about to say, this is
bro.
ridiculous.
He had young guys here.
But they were scrubs.
When he had young guys here, Tristan Thompson was here, was a contributor.
He
They
was a scrub.
Tristan
couldn't
Thompson
score.
was a scrub.
No,
Yes.
he wasn't a scrub, but he couldn't score.
He was a rebounder.
Tristan Thompson. I'd argue that if Tristan Thompson didn't play, they wouldn't beat the Warriors either.
Tristan Thompson's not a scrub.
He's a rebounder.
But he's not Jared Allen.
But here's what
he's
I'm-
not
Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley. He's not Darius Garland.
What I'm saying is, if you look at the impact and you look at it, I'm talking about culturally, I'm talking about on the court, I'm talking about with his teammates, I'm talking about what he's able to do on the court when it's crunch time and be like, yo, he's a much better teammate than Kyrie.
I tell you
he's
what,
a
I
much
don't
better
disagree
off
with
the court
any
guy.
of that.
I tell you right
but
now.
he's got to do it when it matters.
I tell you-
Kyrie did do it when it matters. I agree. I can't stand Kyrie now. He's been a total dope. He's injury prone. He's a bad teammate. His only friend here was Iman Shumpert. That was it. He didn't hang out with any of the other players. He was a bad teammate. You're 100% right. Everything. But bottom line is,
On the court.
he accomplished a lot as a Cavalier, and Donovan Mitchell hasn't had the opportunity yet to do that.
Hey, how many times Kyrie is a how many time All-Star?
I think right now, I think even today, if Donovan Mitchell was to check Kyrie, Kyrie would do something to him.
Well, but so would Mitchell to
7-time
Kyrie.
G.
True,
Huh?
but that's because that's
He's
totally
a seven.
different.
Kyrie Irving's a 7-time All-Star. I think Donovan Mitchell is what, a 4-time All-Star?
3 times.
According to Wikipedia, yes, he's a 3-time All-Star.
3 times.
3-time All-Star, right? You look at the teams that he played on in Utah, right?
Yeah,
You look at those teams.
okay, decent teams.
When you look at Kyrie Irving, he ain't sniffing no playoffs until LeBron got here. Wasn't close.
Now, That's true.
He
but
had a better
the Cavs didn't
supporting
have no Rudy
cast,
Gobert.
too. Yeah, I'm about to say.
All I'm saying is, when you look at Kyrie's trajectory and you look at his team, he's proven one or two things. That he's not a number one dude on his own. He's not. Nowhere.
But Donovan Mitchell hasn't proven he can win a championship as a number one guy either.
But I will say,
No, but he's a number one.
he's a number one.
Kyrie's a number one,
He is a number
too.
one, yes.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, he could. I don't.
Well, when he was a number one, they were not a playoff team, and Donovan Mitchell has been the
but
number one. on
Was he
the
not?
team.
Was he not a
comparison.
number one when he went to Boston?
Well, listen,
At
he
first.
was the number
Did
one.
they go to the playoffs that year?
But they were
didn't
better
make any
without him.
noise.
Huh?
They
didn't
went to
do
the
anything.
finals.
But guys,
But they
to
made
be
it to the
fair-
playoffs, so
to be
that
fair to this
argument
point,
is not valid.
Donovan Mitchell hasn't gotten past the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know,
Well,
I
neither
mean,
has Kyrie
But,
by
but I
himself.
said it's a conversation.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
if
I
you
don't
ask
think-
me who I'd rather have now, to me it's Mitchell, and it's not close.
Right.
But if you ask me who's the more accomplished Cavalier, I have to say Kyrie.
Yes.
Yeah.
If accomplished college.
Oh, that's
At
what,
this point,
that's
now,
what
maybe-
you said.
Hopefully 3-4 years ago,
So
3-4
no.
years from now,
See,
I'll
I
say
wouldn't
something different.
argue his company. He
Oh,
only
well,
had like 2 days.
it wasn't even an argument then.
Oh,
If that
okay,
was the
but-
case,
that was your argument.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I thought that's what you were saying.
No.
Okay.
I mean, he only been here 5 days, bro.
Yeah, okay, we on the same page.
And Donovan
We're good.
Mitchell's a whole lot more likable, I'll tell you that.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on in, Ant.
True or
false
false?
time?
True or false?
Anthony,
It is time.
Anthony.
Oh!
How's the missus doing? She's doing great.
She doesn't hate us?
No. Good. She's very excited that Polk signed me up for stand-up.
Who's
While
the
Jay's,
defending
while
champ?
Jay's getting his belt
I'm
on.
the
he's getting the
defending
belt.
champ.
He's getting the belt.
That
He's
man
getting
crazy,
the belt. This
man.
And while
guy.
you guys are getting your whiteboards, I want to remind
Boys
everybody
ain't-
we do have
boys ain't
overtime
used to winning,
content
boy.
and a special membership
You
tier
better
that you guys
cherish
can
it
be a
'cause
part
it's gone.
For $1.99 a month to be a starter, it gets you
Lamar
all the cool custom
Stevens.
emojis. We have emojis of literally everyone on set now. Anthony and Earl are coming
no.
soon for $4.99, less than $60 a year. You get that exclusive overtime content plus access to the community tab where the conversation continues after each show. Don't miss out. Great holiday present. And G, what's up?
I must say this. Congratulations to us. Because to be truthful, as a sports show, we're the best to ever do it on the internet. If this show ends today, they will rerun this like Frasier. They will rerun it like Cheers. Right now, we are at 18,000, right? 18,000?
Almost 19,000.
Almost 19. I need y'all to help us get to 19,000
Before the end of the
subscribers
year, we gotta get there.
before the end of the year. And you know why that's crazy? We ain't even been on the air. We ain't even been out here that much. Yeah,
7 months.
7 months. And I will tell you this. And the reason I say we're the greatest ever to do it on the internet, we got over 4 million views. That is
love you.
astonishing. And the only reason we got them is because of the support of people like you who
Yes.
continue to watch us, who continue to hit that like button, who continue to subscribe, and all the other sports stations. I love y'all. But y'all only got 4 million views. Y'all popping on the radio, but you not popping on the internet. No one knows.
And no one has recreated original games better than us.
Boom.
And we
Just
got
like
a lot
True or
of.
False, which we have turned into
Yes.
one of our favorite segments.
do
And
it.
today
Yeah, that's become a thing.
is a
games.
Cav that's
I don't
been
even know the
crucial to
question,
team.
but I'm going this.
Get it.
Let's
Who's
go.
the player today?
Lamar Stevens,
Oh,
a
wow.
crucial player.
Damn.
He's
A
very.
crucial player to the Cavs' success this season.
Lamar Stevens is the Tristan Thompson of this team.
Tristan Thompson was good. He might get his jersey retired.
The Cavs would not be
All-time
where they
leading
are
rebound.
today.
Thompson was.
I'm starting it
Better
off.
than Lamar
Without-
Stevens.
I don't know the question, but I'm saying it's
You're going
false.
false first. Okay, well, let's see the first question. Let's see if everyone agrees. Jay
Yeah.
is the defending champion.
Who's the defending champion?
You are.
I'm the
Crawford.
defending champion.
All right.
That man,
True or false?
In my house.
Lamar was a top 50 national recruit.
it's probably
Coming
true.
out of high
yo. It's probably true.
That'd be crazy if it was. He went to Penn State. Penn State ain't
I'm
a
standing
basketball
on it.
school.
I don't know if it's right or wrong.
That's
I'm
what I'm
standing on it though. YB.
Penn State ain't no basketball school.
Tyvis says false. G says false.
Top
False.
50.
False.
Why
Why
would you
y'all
go to
gonna
Penn
agree
State?
with me?
He would have
Bull?
went to Penn.
Yeah, he wouldn't go into Penn State if he's a top 50.
See, all them Eastern basketball things up there.
Bull says false.
What does he say?
Jerry Sandusky.
F.
After
Jerry.
Jerry Sandusky.
Jerry. Okay, let's see the answers. Everyone getting off to a hot start?
And I'm talking about the announcer with
Yeah!
He was number 51.
the. Everybody said false.
Number 51.
What you know
Damn.
about that?
Wow.
How about
Didn't even
that?
know the question, and I'm going false.
All right.
Yeah, maybe
All
I
right.
want to fire the guy who did those rankings.
Question number 2. He did go to Penn State. but did he start all 104 games of his collegiate career?
If you're a top 50 dude and you at Penn State,
He's technically not top 50.
he's 51, so that's the highest they done got.
Yeah,
Boom!
not like Penn State's got a good basketball program.
Boom, boom.
I think Jay changed his answer. when
He
saw
did,
the
Jay.
all-
No.
True. And we're going to see a 4-way. False. All but one. Jay, you think I outsmarted you, and you are incorrect.
Yeah!
He did start 104
Go
games.
on and
every
put
single
that
one.
belt back on the table.
I want to come from behind.
Go.
It ain't no fun.
Oh,
It ain't no fun. 7 dudes in a room, man. You can't say that like that.
Dug myself a little hole here. See what I did there?
There's going to be a quote on Twitter. Jay, I want to come from behind.
We'll go right next to Jay's.
How many times?
I'm a baker, bro. It's the only way I can play.
Put it right next to his quote board where he said, "I love Russia."
man is outrageous, man. He done been bumped.
Bull, don't-
Hold on. Let Bull catch his breath. Oh. You okay?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I mean,
I think I'm a little dizzy there for a second.
Okay. We're
Flash-
The
good.
bucket, the vomit bucket.
if you like,
Okay,
I need
question
some
number
water.
3. So far, G, Bull, and Tyvis both 2-0. Question number 3. 23 points is Lamar's career high in an NBA game.
I think he just had this too. Like not this year, but last year.
Tyvis says false.
I think he scored 27.
G. Bush says false.
Pick something out.
False.
Bull says false. 4 falses and 4 incorrect
Man, I
responses.
could have picked up my
23 points is his career high,
When did
which
he get
did
that?
score
Good.
this year, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I'm glad
G.
you
Bush
missed
was right. His thinking was spot
Yeah,
on.
we all knew
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's what
I
we
thought
had.
it had to be one other game. You were. It couldn't
I
be
don't
that
care
obvious
if I
that it
don't
just
win
went
as
clean
long
for
as
everyone.
you come in last place.
I thought you wouldn't give us a question that just happened
killing
last
me,
week.
man.
So I assumed we had, but
I just want to be
you know what
Jay.
happens when you
pulling it
assume
even
you
after
make an
this
ass out of you and me.
What we got?
Question number 4.
We got.
Lamar is averaging a career high in points, rebounds, and assists this season.
See, you put 3. You be
Yeah, that
cheating
makes
me.
it tricky.
No, it was only 2 that he had a career high, and the other one he's playing terrible.
Tyvis quick on the trigger. Tyvis says true.
We have the result. I'm like Maury. We have the results right here.
He is
You
not
are
the father.
The crowd goes crazy.
True. 3 trues. Will Jay pick up a game here?
He-
Jay?
Oh, Mike might have given it away.
Boom,
Says
Saying we're
false.
basically a game.
One of you guys is right. Either
Please-
Jay's in a
please
deep
be
hole
wrong.
or Jay's tied for first with
Dig
everyone
a
else. Let's
hole.
see it, Steve.
Dig a hole.
Bury yourself.
From behind.
Once again, it is 2
Baker to the end zone. Touchdown.
Halfway across the board, it
I
is
can
2
imagine him
to
doing
2.
it at home. Like
Four-way tie, halfway.
that.
Four-way tie. I'd love
just
to see
working
it coming
on it.
down in the
With
home
my
stretch
six.
here.
First time this has ever happened.
I think this might be the closest we've been through 4. Question
Yeah.
number 5.
Come on, man.
Lamar has the 3rd most points in Penn State basketball history.
And they had enough.
When you think Penn State basketball history, it's easy to not remember any of it.
I can't name a single player, and I didn't even know he went to Penn State before we talked about it earlier.
Wow.
he had to be there. He did come out.
True. False, which means, Bull, you are the father, and you're
Yeah!
You are the father.
Damn.
He's actually second. I dropped him down a spot. I have no idea who's first.
I thought it said he's.
So I said top 4.
Yeah, I thought.
Didn't say top 3.
No,
He said
It's
he's
at
third all
I
time.
said 3rd all time.
You dirty little.
He's
See,
second
That's
all
what I
time.
be talking about, man.
that
Like, what's
little-
I knew that. You guys didn't know that?
I said he top 3.
First all time.
We're going to find out. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I looked it up, though. All right, question number 4. My favorite one. Question number 6. Stevens is the author of a children's book, Lamar's Climb, A Journey to Happy Valley, which teaches geography based on his experiences.
I'm gonna tell you what. You got all them damn words in there, and if it's false, you're a cheater. I don't
Very,
like you.
very specific.
Yeah, all that specificness. It didn't
Bold
say
and
Happy
short
Valley. It
for
said
True,
Short Valley.
True, it is true. And how about we give Lamar a shout out for teaching the youth about.
That's awesome. Good job out of
geography.
Lamar,
Good for
baby.
him.
Absolutely.
Good for Lamar. We actually should buy a copy of that. We should put it in the studio.
Just another good guy on a
PG-13.
roster.
We have had this is by
good
far
guys.
been the most unanimous answers we've had.
I know. We're all. I'm
And at the moment, Bull, you have 4 correct. Everyone else has 3.
That's still
How
everybody
many left
alive.
to go?
so,
Two more?
Questions to
so
go.
the New York
Yes.
Times playoff predictor has Bull at a 65% chance of winning.
Next question. Lamar is one of 3 Stevens boys in his family, joining older brother Lewis and younger brother Lorenzo.
Trying to psych us out by giving all L names because it sounds legit.
Tyvis has a Drew Holiday answer. Drew, I like that.
Boom, boom, boom.
It's
boom,
cursive.
Boom.
Let me see.
You
Who
got
writes
true.
cursive
G says
anymore?
true. Bull says
True.
true. Jay says false.
Please, God.
Jay.
Boom, boom,
Coming down,
boom,
this is
boom,
gonna come to one of the ends. G. Bush
boom.
officially eliminated.
You're out,
No,
dog.
it's not.
You are out.
G and Tyvis are both tied.
Yeah, but they got it wrong.
I'm eliminated.
Isn't there 2 left?
It's
There's
one
one
left.
left.
I'm eliminated from playoff.
Yeah.
So we
consideration.
can't tie it
Wait
if
a
they
second,
get
we
it
can
wrong?
still tie. If Jay and I
Okay, if you want
both
to
get
kiss
it
your
wrong
sister,
and they
that's
get it
fine with
right.
me.
Also, according to Steve Becker,
Please, guys.
you guys remember Taylor Battle?
Don't
Penn
lose
State's
to
all-time
this
leading
man.
scorer, Taylor Battle.
By the way, the New York Times playoff predictor now has Bull at a 50% chance of winning,
right.
and they also have me at a 50% chance of winning.
We should actually add that to the next time. I don't know how we'll do it, but next week we'll try to add some playoff predictor thing on the iPad to
All right,
do this.
very
Okay,
good.
last question. And before we figure it up, we'll bring it up. Jay Bull tied for first right now. G Tyvis in second. The opposite of whatever Jay says. Tyvis, you can't do that. The question is, did Lamar win the MVP award of the 2018 NIT tournament?
I thought they got rid of that due to COVID.
They did, but 2018's pre-COVID.
The 2019 was it was a COVID one, G. I'll take that out of your mind. 2019 was a COVID one that got canceled.
Yeah.
Tyvis says false.
If Jay got false, I
Go
swear.
ahead,
need to
Jay.
see
You
G.
go.
I'm changing
Jay,
my
no,
answer.
no.
What is wrong with him?
Jay cheats. What's underneath?
No,
Jay says
there
true.
it is.
I got true also.
True.
Oh, shit.
False.
Oh, when are we going to finish
It'll be-
tied?
If we're wrong, it's a 4-way tie.
Please be
Okay,
false.
Steve Becker, get the tiebreaker question ready because the answer is true. G and Tyvis officially eliminated.
Oh, okay.
What up, dog? And Bull.
Please.
What up, dog?
Please don't let Jay. He can't handle it. It's certain people that
What
just can't
up,
win.
dog?
I blew it.
All right, tiebreaker. Here we go.
Okay.
I think I'll do.
Is this
Do you
not
guys
a
want
true
a
or
true or
false?
false question, or do you want a number question?
No, give a
Yes.
number.
I
True or
think
false
it's
sucks for
in
the
your
tiebreaker.
side.
Say it again, Bull.
I say give a number question. Because true or false,
Yeah, 'cause if it's true or false, we can keep going.
Okay, a
Don't
number
talk
question.
to me like that.
Hold on. Let me fix my hair here before I win again. Okay,
Here we go.
good to go.
Please get that
You guys
belt
got to be
from
rooting
Jay.
for me.
Lamar Stevens is listed on the NBA.com's official website as a 6'6" small forward. How much does he weigh?
Oh, that's easy. I think he's about 215, 217,
Man,
217.
what you writing stuff down
You
for?
can go over, by the way. It's okay if you go over. It'll be the closest.
Okay,
to the
closest
answer.
to. What you got?
Doesn't count, does it?
Hey,
Built
McNugget.
Bar. Great call. He definitely has
Okay.
a lot of Built Bars.
I got 223.
223 for Bull. I'll give you a hint. He's 7 off.
Ooh, I already
218.
I said 217.
He's listed at 230. Bull!
Yes!
Yes! Out of the
Yes! Yes! Give it up.
Give it up.
Give it up.
Give it up.
And with that, let's bring in
That's
Dave
what she
Richard
said.
because Adam Bull's also
God.
playing for our
Hey.
fantasy football championship.
You ain't won.
That's
And Dave,
fine.
he can't win
You
2 in a
didn't
row.
either.
We got to stop him before he did that.
It's more of a heartbreaker
Yes.
than you than me.
Now, McNuggets, we gotta play that game too. I want to play the game where you get random things at the grocery store. You say, what is the retail price of it?
Yeah, we'll do that.
The
So
price
Dave-
is
All
right.
season game content.
All right.
Dave, the
Yeah,
playoffs
you want
are
to play the
upon us.
Price is Right.
Yes, that's what I want to play.
Yeah.
Yo,
Dave,
I don't know if they've got cash or prizes. You're not winning a new car.
Yeah, right.
I know, but we act like we are.
We should. Dave, the playoffs are upon us. In our league here at the TV show, the playoffs are starting this week because we had 10 teams and only 4 make the playoffs. So the final 4 is G. Bush is playing against another panelist, Jason Lloyd, who's not here today. And then I play against Earl, who's one of our behind-the-scenes guys,
Ooh, Tyvis
in the
in
other
seventh place.
semifinal. But you see, our producer there, Dave, Mike, he finished dead last. So
why are you pointing that out?
He's got to do a stand-up routine for 10 minutes at a local comedy club.
It was at a point, Jay, where I said, as long as
What
I
do you
don't
think
come
about
in
that
last,
as the booby
I won.
prize?
I love the booby prize. I wish I could be there to see the
It'll
the
be live
stand-up
streamed.
routine. I think Mikey will actually.
you.
I think he's actually going to kill it. He looks like he could absolutely crush it on a stage.
go,
I've got
Dave.
full confidence in Mikey
Thank
to get
you.
the job done.
Dave, I'm facing the Giants in the playoffs. I'm going against this guy who's 13-1. Please give me something.
We were looking at your
I
rankings
need
before to try
something.
to help him.
I need something. This is like going against the
Yeah.
Giants. Like, I have no chance.
No, man, it's trouble out there. Actually, I think the best position that you can find some help in is at either wide receiver or tight end. I think there's a lot of decent wide receivers that are out there. So if you need that position, I would start with Jahan Dotson. He's available still in about half of CBS Sports leagues. Scored each of the past 2 games. He's a playmaker for the Commanders, and I think he's going to continue to get the opportunity to make plays against the 49ers. And that's the last time I ever want to see Bulls lap in my life.
You love it, Dave. Come on.
Like
You love it.
It's a beautiful title. But,
Yes.
yeah,
Dave,
not the best view.
Fair
I just
enough.
gotta say.
Fair enough.
Dave, should I take Hubbard? That's 1. Should I take Hubbard as a running back this week? And 2, Dawson Knox or Darren Waller for the start?
I like Knox better than Waller. Knox is sort of settled.
Because I got
being that
Josh
go-to
Allen
guy.
as the quarterback.
Okay, so now you've got that combo. There is something that you have to keep in mind. I'm sure you guys are aware of the storm and all the wind and crazy stuff that's coming to Cleveland this weekend. And that's expected to be there. It's going to play all kinds of havoc on that game between the Saints and the Browns. There's going to be similar weather to that in Chicago. And so if it does come to pass, if the weather's really bad, that passing game, it's going to be muted a little bit for Buffalo. Josh Allen won't be throwing downfield, but that's kind of cool because Dawson Knox has been a short area target the past couple of weeks. He scored a touchdown each of the past couple of weeks. I wouldn't mind starting Dawson Knox thinking that he can come through for a 3rd straight game against a bad Chicago defense. And you mentioned Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
It just so happens that the Panthers in their next 2 games are against teams that have pretty strong run defenses. When that's been the case, we don't see a lot of Deontay Foreman. We do see a lot of Chuba Hubbard. Hubbard is the better pass-catching back between the 2. So if that counts, that adds a little bit to his floor. He might be able to come through with around 10 PPR points if your league awards 4 points for catches. Still somebody
Titus,
who's
we can't just
decent
ask
at
about your
running.
team, though.
This is off camera. He doing off camera fantasy
Wait a minute.
league.
Wait a minute.
He's in 7th place.
Wait a minute. Bull has taken this segment over many a day, and I didn't say
But
a
not about my
thing.
team.
Anyways, do you like him more than Knight? That's the only question. It's my last question.
I think I'll take Knight ahead of Chuba Hubbard, but it's really close. And I'm not a big fan of either guy.
No, me either.
You just look at the running back production for the Jets when Zach Wilson's played. Almost no catches to go around for those players. Really only Breece Hall is the guy that's had good production with Zach Wilson. And the weather is expected to be bad there in New York as well. And this Jaguars defense, they're not exactly a shutdown unit. Okay, the Cowboys definitely got some numbers on them. You can score on them. I think that's what you're hoping for when it comes to Donovan Knight. But they've been okay. They've taken on a lot of tough run offenses over the last 4 weeks. If not for a 50-yard run by Derrick Henry, they'd be averaging below, running backs would be, below 4 yards per carry against the Jaguars in those 4 games.
All right, that brings to an end. What should Tyvis do?
Yeah. Dave, what are you doing if you let's say you have Jonathan Taylor? Are you considering either Zach Moss or what's his name, Deion Johnson?
Darius
I think.
Jones.
Deion Jackson.
Jackson.
Deion Jackson's the other one. All kinds of changes coming to this Colts offense. They announced today that Nick Foles is going to be the starting quarterback. Matt Ryan's probably done for the rest of the season unless something happens to Foles. I don't know if I can trust either running back in Indianapolis. They're both flex plays at best, both Moss and Jackson. If I had to pick one, it would be Zach Moss. But as I said on our podcast this week, I'd rather have Chuba Hubbard if I'm picking between the 3 of them, just so I stay away from the mess that is the Indianapolis run game.
Man, look, man, y'all not going to get – I'm the champion. I'm in first place. Y'all don't get no questions off. Hey, here's the thing. He's got all the pressure on him, by the way, Dave, because he's the number 1 seed. He outscored the other 3 teams of us that made the playoffs. He outscored us by a ton. So, really quickly, I got, this Zay Jones. He came up big last week. Do I rock and roll to go with him? Deontay Johnson's chilling on the bench. I also got, who else is chilling out there? DJ Shark and Paris Campbell. Everybody is around that 10-11 range. What am I doing there?
Yeah. I think Zay Jones is going to be who you go with. You do have to keep an eye on that weather in New York. If it's really windy, you're not going to want to start Zay Jones. And it's a tough matchup as well, but I don't think the Jaguars care about that. I think that they're just going to continue to throw the ball to Ingram and Zay Jones. They've been leading the way in terms of targets over the last 3 games. Christian Kirk's actually been 3rd in target share amongst those 3. Jones has just been too good to sit. I think you got to keep it going unless, like I said, 20-mile-per-hour winds, crazy downpour of rain. In that type of a situation, I'd probably pivot. Johnson would be the pick under normal circumstances. He's got a turf toe injury. If he plays, then sure, I'll take a chance on him. If not, you've got a real problem at wide receiver. You're probably starting DJ Chark. That's not so high.
Is Jalen Hurts playing? No.
No, I'm not expecting him to play.
Let's do viewer questions. We got a couple for you, Dave.
Dave,
Okay,
that is
sounds
one of
good.
them, but today's viewer questions are brought to us by BetJack. The time has arrived, Ohio sports fans. Sports betting goes live January 1st. Download the BetJack app today so you'll be ready for all the action. BetJack, it's Ohio Sportsbook. This comes from Spencer Dykes. He says, Dave, other than cry, what can I do to replace Jalen Hurts?
Well, crying is worth it, I guess, but that's not going to help you score any fantasy points. Gardner Minshew is who I'm trying to get, and that's who I picked up. I had Hurts still in 2 of my leagues. That was the man that I went and added off the waiver wire. If I couldn't get Minshew, Brock Purdy was the next best quarterback after that. And you'll just start him. Listen, Minshew is not an embarrassment at quarterback, and he just so happens to be playing for one of the best offenses in the league right now. The best part of that Cowboys defense is their pass rush. Eagles have a tremendous offensive line. If Minshew has time to make plays downfield, I think he can make them. He should have that kind of time. I like him as a low-end starter this week.
Damon says, who do I flex? Gabe Davis, Kittles, or Garrett Wilson?
I'd get ready for Kittle. I really would, and it's just because of the weather situation. Listen, if the weather's going to be bad for Zay Jones, it's going to be even worse for Garrett Wilson. And I don't know if you caught the game for the Jets last week or not, but it seemed like about a third of every throw or 1 out of every 3 throws, rather, that Zach Wilson made was like just a deep ball that he was hoping someone would catch. A Jets receiver would pitch underneath it, jump up, catch the ball, and it would be a big game. That's how Garrett Wilson got his numbers last week. If the conditions are terrible, he's not going to be able to do that. It doesn't matter if he's playing against Jacksonville or not. So I'd try and stay away from him. I think Kittle's probably the best option you got.
All right, 3 more real quick. Justin Fields, a decent play with the weather and going against Buffalo's defense?
Absolutely. He runs with the football. He's going to do a lot more of that with the weather being bad.
Half PPR league, Judy or Amari Cooper?
Judy. I'm staying away from everybody in the passing game for the Browns and the Saints.
And from Marcel Pettiford, Ramondre Stevenson or Cordero Patterson?
Stevenson. Don't even ask that question again. It's Stevenson the rest of the way.
That was a horrible question.
I know. Who asked that?
Marcel Pettiford.
Well, you should.
This is the time of year, guys. This is the time of year where everybody starts to second guess. Because it's the fantasy playoffs. If you lose at this point, you don't get to play anymore. Yeah. And no one wants that. Everybody wants to win. Go with who you trust. Sometimes you got to go with your gut. And if you're really not sure, check out our rankings on CBSSports.com. We do a really good job of trying to keep everybody, level-headed during this time of year.
Real quick, Dave, before you go, you mentioned tight ends. Who's your streaming tight end? Who's your streaming defense this week?
The streaming tight end is probably Juwan Johnson. Just a short area target in the wind tunnel that will be the game between the Saints and the Browns. I think he can probably score again. He's done that a lot lately. And if you're not comfortable with that, I got a plan B tight end. It's Noah Fant. DST, it's the Chargers. They were available in over 60% of leagues earlier this week. They've got 2 great matchups in a row, so you can pick them up and use them each of the next 2 weeks. And I believe they've scored at least 10 fantasy points in each of their past 3 games.
Wow.
If someone smarter than you already picked up the Chargers, you can go get the Lions. They've scored at least 10 points in 5 of their past 6 games. They can be good.
I got one more, Dave. Dave, one more, and I apologize for a miss from Earl DePearl 216. He wants to know, whoever this Earl DePearl 216 is, I don't know who he is, but he wants to know, should he start Michael Pittman or Godwin because Lockett's hurt?
He's playing against me in the playoffs, Dave. Give him the wrong answer.
Which one is catching passes from Nick Foles?
Pittman.
Yeah, I'll go with the other guy.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Earl DePearl 216. Great question.
There you
Hope
go.
you're
Thanks,
feeling better,
Dave.
Although once upon a time,
Guys,
Foles did beat
guys.
Brady in a
Yes.
Super Bowl.
Look up Taylor Battle, for crying out loud.
Yeah, he's the Penn State's all-time leading scorer.
Oh, that's who it is?
That's the guy. Yes.
Yeah.
Look at you knowing that. Who
That-
the hell knows Taylor
That
Battle?
rich basketball history that Penn State
right.
has put down.
Never heard of him, Dave.
All right, hey, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Have a
Appreciate it.
great holiday season. Enjoy your
Same to
weekend.
you
We'll see
guys.
you next week.
Take care.
Waiver
Looking forward to
Wire
it.
Wednesday. So we have 5 minutes left. We're going to do final takes, but I guess Tyvis is the only one doing one, and then we're going to shoot our baskets,
I'm gonna
right?
shoot up. Yeah, well, we have a little bit more time than 5 minutes. But, Tyvis, I know you're only on once a week. We will give you your opportunity to do a final take. And if anyone else has a quick one, but at 57, we got to get our tosses in. So,
All right. In other words, go.
I don't know if y'all talked about this or not, but yesterday, it was this video that came out yesterday. And it was Willie McGinnis. And I need to say, Willie, what you got going on, bro? Like you went to a club or a restaurant. First of all, you on NFL Network. You made a bunch of money in the league. You're on national television. Why are you going to the club throwing punches too? First of all, you 50, you like over 50, and you in the club fighting? Like, what are you doing?
What happened?
Like, what are you didn't see
Got
this
arrested
video?
for felony. Yeah.
The man goes to the club with 3 dudes. They jump this guy, and then he like takes
Now, we
a-
don't know, in fairness, though, we don't know exactly what happened prior to that.
Right. Jumps this guy, takes the bottle, and like uppercutting the dude in the face with the bottle. I'm just sitting there like,
Yeah, it wasn't good.
what are you doing? Like you gotta make better decisions. Like you gotta realize you can't get caught up in a moment. You know, you got that one moment like could really have messed you up for the rest of your life. So
It probably has.
you need to make better decisions in the time. Like you need to have better thinking and critical thinking and ask yourself, is it worth me losing my career over? Because this potentially could have did that. And I think everybody should take the time out before you react to a situation. Stop and think, is it really worth the rest of my career and the rest of my life to do this? If you do that, I think you'll make better decisions. And I'm praying for Willie. I don't know what the situation was, but it just looks terrible. And I hope you really can find a way to bounce back. I hope it's not something that, sends you down.
Have you met Willie?
I've never met Willie in my life.
Super guy. Like, I looked at that and I'm like, what?
That's what I said. It was, from everything I've ever seen, I mean, he's a Patriots guy. He's
Smart,
plays
3-time
on
Super
TV.
Bowl.
Yeah, talks well. And I just seen that video, and I'm just like,
Now,
what are you doing?
the reason I brought that up is because, in fairness, Leroy made the point earlier that you guys are what?
wow.
You are gladiators. You are competitors. If somebody popped off
But it
and
didn't
said
need,
the
but
wrong,
you
I
don't,
know.
in the
you
sheet?
don't need to
I know.
jump
That's
him,
no
though.
excuse.
Like,
You're
it should,
G's seeing it right now
should
for
be
the
a
first time,
one-on-one
but-
thing, though. You jumping this guy.
I know.
And the guy half your size.
We just don't know what happened prior to. That's the only
Bottle
thing.
throwing time.
Yeah, let's do it.
There we go.
Ever have a bottle? G, do you have a water bottle?
Yeah, bro. Damn. I got one, but I'm sure
That's crazy.
I wouldn't
Here we
let Willie McGinnis have it.
Well, you're up first, Steve. We got the camera ready. Yep. Well, you ready?
Yeah, beat me to death with this water bottle.
Nothing but air.
Ball is 0 for 2. Tyvis. Well, that was
Cheated.
clank.
Water in the bottle.
Water in the
That
bottle
was
would have been a point
blank.
off if you'd have made it.
Nobody told me that.
G. Bush is killing his.
That is dedication to the bit.
Who made it? Yeah, Mike Polk made it
Polk
yesterday.
made it yesterday in his first try.
The only one, wasn't he?
Here comes G. Bush
There is water. Oh my God. G. Bush.
with a knuckleball.
G.
All right,
Bush
we
is
ready?
the lowest ranked shooter.
I'm calling my shot.
Yeah.
I'm going under the light, over the camera, nothing but net.
Not even
If you hit that, you might as well retire.
Oh, you front rimmed it.
But I was
That means
closest.
Mike Polk, somehow, the most athletic
Mike Polk
one on the
remains
set.
the champion.
Just like everyone expected, Mike Polk, the ultimate athlete on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
that's
There it is.
I didn't know I couldn't have nothing.
See you tomorrow.
Nope. So guys, we got 2 minutes. Let's just tell people what's going on tomorrow.
Yeah. What do we got?
We got Aditi. We got
Didi.
Maurice. We have no fence riders, which, by the way, after the show in our
Can we
meeting,
show
if you
that
guys wanna
video? We
change-
can show that video.
This is
you guys wanna-
disturbing.
Yeah, we can.
Call it up. We
Pull
can
that-
show it.
I'm on TMZ.
I mean, I feel like now we have to because either everybody's left us to go look for it.
I didn't know anything about it, so you guys
Yeah,
mentioned
it's
I watched it yesterday before.
Hey,
I did
this
it.
man.
This dude is real in the streets,
That's
bro.
what I'm
Yeah.
We
But
got
it-
2 minutes. We'll be able to play it.
The
That was
hit-
terrible.
Hey,
damn, boy.
Also, I do want to tell y'all real quick while Anthony's pulling this up. I'm taking my first day off since we started the show. The next 2 days, I'm back next Wednesday. So if any issues, y'all blame Anthony and Earl. I have nothing to
You're
do.
off
You
the
take
hook.
tag word full.
Well, I'm not here tomorrow either.
You're
Take
off the
tag
hook.
word full. You can play the video, but I'm off. I'm in Florida. Y'all deal
right.
with the cold weather. This is the video for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Willie.
And we got about a minute, so we can actually have this played for a good
First
bit.
of all, he got checked by his bow. Now watch his homie putting the work in. His homie putting the work in right now. A 1 and a 2 and a 3.
But Willie's not done.
The rib game.
That's chicken shit by Willie McGinnis.
Thank you. That's what I said.
I mean, they
What
give,
could that guy have done?
they give
It
him.
looked like it was something awful.
That guy's just sitting there.
Might owe
Well,
him some
like I
money.
said, though, we don't know.
But even if he had said something to it, there's no excuse for that.
What if he walked up to
it's
him
the-
and called all three of them the N-word?
That's the only.
I mean, we don't. That's why I say we always have to be careful. We've
I
seen the
hear
video.
you.
We don't.
What are the odds that
And I'm not defending Willie McGinnis.
You don't get no.
I'm not.
You don't get no.
What are the
bottle
odds
to
that
do
some
this.
random dude walked up to 3 huge black guys and said the N-word?
I don't know, but he clearly did
It's
something.
some bold people out here. You know.
Yeah, you're right.
Look at that.
I mean, maybe
Hit me
he.
with
I
the
don't know if he
bottle.
called his wife out of her name.
I don't know.
Like if you would.
Was there a woman involved?
But
We
it
don't
still
know.
should be a one-on-one thing.
But hold on. So I'll give it. So somebody a man, like say something to your wife, like
to my wife,
your wife, and you.
Yeah, 20 seconds,
with
G,
her.
20
I
seconds.
probably still on him right then and there.
See.
That's the way it goes.
But I
hear
wouldn't
ya
jump
if you
in.
do.
Okay.
But to jump over 4 guys.
But if I was with you,
10 seconds.
It looks like we're out of time.
Coming up next.
Overtime next.
See you tomorrow. Willie's still.